anyway, Kylan had headed down to the rum house to basically have something to eat and drink a bit because he had met the ghost of Terrence Jackson and was trying to come up with a plan of attack or something. That you had met, let me see, a homeless guy, Albert, and had talked to him about some of the issues that he had told you about the Devilman and that the homeless people were just starting to disappear, and he was a little concerned about that too. Dela, you had met with Miss Clara. Miss Clara had asked you to find the person who had killed Terrence, and that you didn't really need to bring the police into it if you could avoid it, if you could handle it yourself. And you had tried to get some information from the police. The police were kind of stonewalling you, and it was very obvious that they weren't going to talk about it. And so you had found a cop bar called the 422 just off Lee Circle, and you were going to check it out. Darwin, you had found cold spots in your house, which typically means ghostly activity. Now, you'd been there for a year and hadn't really had any issues, but all of a sudden, this ghostly activity had kind of crept in. You'd done some research at the library, had gotten tried to get a couple of microfiche. One of them was missing. And we're getting ready to look on the microfiche to see if it could give you any kind of idea about what was going on. And Bunk, you had done a quick jam session underneath the oak tree out front of the little commune place where you stayed. Rosa, the young Hispanic woman who had brought you rice and beans to go with Kurt's tacos, had given you kind of a weird eye about that there was a dark lightning that linked you to someone. And for the rest of the night, you felt this strange dragging sensation pulling you towards the Garden District. And I think I got everybody with that brief recap. Let's start on the left-hand side with Miranda and go for there. So, Miranda, what were you going to do, by the way?
So, Albert mentioned sightings of the Devilman and I didn't write it down last time, but was it St. Charles?
He had met him in the French. Well, he said had been seen in the French Quarter, but he was actually into the Garden District and things like that, and everybody was pretty nervous. The homeless people were pretty nervous about him because he'd been showing up more often and closer, and more homeless people had been disappearing. So yeah.
So I wanted to head down to those areas, look for like some contacts maybe in that area, and see if anybody actually had eyes on this person.
Right. Now, it's evening time, probably 5 or 6 o'clock. You could probably get some dinner somewhere if you want, or not. And you can head down to the French Quarter. Remember, this is 2010. Pretty much the only place in New Orleans that is kind of back to business as usual is the French Quarter. 5 years after Katrina, the French Quarter is starting to thrive again. The Garden District and the Warehouse District are starting to rebuild as well. A lot of people are buying up houses in the Garden District, and gentrification is kind of going on. But yeah, the French Quarter is a good place to go. The police are there. It's a good, they're keeping it safe, mainly because they want to encourage those tourists in. So you can head downtown, sure.
Yeah, I'll probably stop somewhere and get something to eat to go, and then I'll maybe stop by the police department and see if any reports have been filed about this.
You stop by, grab yourself probably a shrimp po' boy, because, it's New Orleans. And it's the South. And it's a good shrimp po' boy, wherever you get it from. Maybe a Barks root beer, because, it's Barks. And, head down towards the French Quarter. You're going to check out one of the police stations. You're not able to find a police station really in the French Quarter, but there is one of those mobile command posts that's kind of set up. Go ahead and make me a contacts roll and see what you can find out.
Is my contact okay. +2. So
balanced out, so even. What'd you get?
+2.
Okay. You go to the mobile command center, and there's a gentleman there. It's probably October or November. It's a little cool out, and so he's standing there drinking a cup of coffee. I'll not engage in the obligatory police and donut joke, but he's drinking a cup of coffee, and so he's blowing onto it and sipping on it, kind of keeping his hands warm. And you walk up to him and he says, "Can I help you?"
Hey, I kind of, I don't know if you know, I work with the local I can't remember the name of the church.
Well, you work with St. Louis Cathedral and a lot of the
St. Louis
homeless.
Cathedral. Yeah, I work with a lot of the homeless in the city, and I've been kind of hearing this rumor about sightings of a Devilman in this area, and I'm just wondering if somebody's like reporting this. Is this a prank? Like, what, do you have any?
When you say Devilman, he kind of rolls his eyes and he goes, "The Devilman again! Oh my gosh, the Devilman is like an urban legend around here. Every few months somebody says they've seen the Devilman or something like that. It's years. It's been going on for years." He says, "But you're working with the St. Louis Cathedral. Look, we have been finding a lot of John Does and Jane Does recently, dead in the French Quarter and some of them in the Garden District. It's mainly in the French Quarter or in the warehouse area. In the warehouse area, a lot of them have been partially," kind of looks around and he goes, "eaten.
What?
I'm beginning to wonder if there's a group of cannibals or some. It's something I've never really run into before. Now the ones in the French Quarter, we just find these folks just dead, sometimes with really strange expressions on their faces, almost as if they died in abject terror. But the one thing they all have in common is there's a big burn patch over their heart, and their heart seems to have stopped, and that's why they died. It's really strange. I don't know if the two sets of deaths, they're very different. I don't know if they're related, but they could be." Alrighty, so anyway, like he says, since you're working with the St. Louis Cathedral, I feel like I can really tell you these things, but I'm a good Catholic boy, good Catholic boy, Irish Catholic boy.
Yeah.
He says, "But you didn't hear it from me." And he goes back to kind of blowing on his coffee, and kind of rubbing his hands and stuff like that. And he studiously kind of ignores you off to the side, something like that. Right.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. From here, I guess I would just. I don't know. Do I know anyone where I could do any research into this?
Probably the best thing you could do, you could either check. Well, the church is not going to keep any records of that.
Mm-hmm.
You could either check the French Quarter, which there's a lot of people down there, which is going to make it a little difficult. You could check the warehouse district. The other option would be maybe going to the police precinct or checking the morgue. Those are kind of your options there.
Okay.
Or Jackson Square is where a lot of the minor talents hang out, and so there might be someone who kind of has a magical affinity that you could talk to.
I think that's what I'm looking for more.
You also know a White Council warden.
That's true.
So, it depends on which direction you want to go with this.
Yeah, I'm going to try to... Do I know where she stays?
I'll say yeah. Sure, you probably know her address.
Okay. I'm going to try to find her.
Okay. You head to the address she's given you.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't have a cell phone.
No, not her. No, not even a Nokia. So you head to her.
I was like, I'll just call.
Yeah, I'll just call her. Yeah, no, not so much. You head to the little shotgun house that's over off Frenchman Street, and all the lights are off, doors locked. Seems like she's not there at this point.
Great.
Yeah, you're not sure.
All right, Jackson Square it is.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, you head down to Jackson Square. A lot of the people there are starting to fold up, their little tarot setups and crystal reading and stuff like that. There's not a whole lot going on, but there's a few people left. There's a lady by the name of, let me flip back a couple pages, Sister Isolda, and you notice that she's kind of directing everybody how to put up, and you've got this spot, things like that. She kind of seems to be in charge. She sees you walking up and she says, "What can I do for you?"
Hey, so I've been hearing about some strange things going on around town, and I'm obviously concerned for these people that I I try to look out for. But
She goes, I've seen you. I've seen you going into the cathedral, and I've seen you around. I know who you are.
well, I'm kind of concerned. I don't know. There's rumors and whispers on the street about these murders, kind of like not the usual kind, if you know what I mean. And people are whispering about the Devilman, which I understand is kind of like a reoccurring urban legend, but I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's more to it than that.
She looks and she says, oh, no. Devilman's no urban legend. I've seen him. I'm probably about the only person who got away from him. And at which point she takes out it's this little black, small cigar-looking thing, and she puts it in her mouth, and she takes her, and she, starts smoking on it, and she goes, let's sit down. So she sits down in her little lawn chair behind her table, and she says, have a seat.
All right, sit down with her.
And she says, so you're looking for the Devilman and trying to help the homeless. Why?
I don't know. I guess just there was a time whenever I couldn't help myself and someone helped me, and I'm just trying to pay that forward, I guess.
Well, I'll help you under one condition. Give me your palm. So you lay out your palm, and she starts kind of looking at your hand. And she looks at it, and she says, that's interesting. A true believer, a real follower of God, and a warrior to boot. And she says, all right, I'll tell you what I know. My flock, who work in Jackson Square, the artists,
I appreciate the terminology.
Yeah, the psychics, the ones who basically ply their trade here, even the panhandlers, and some of the homeless. I watch over them. You don't want to be inside the gates where Andrew Jackson statue is after dark, because that's when the cats come out. The Devilman has been showing up in the French Quarter. He didn't used to. We'd sometimes get reports of him in Slidell. We sometimes get reports of him in the Ninth Ward. But in the last 3 or 4 months, he's been showing up in the French Quarter, and he has been taking people. Most of them wind up dead. Sometimes they disappear for a day, and then they turn up on some, in some alley with a big burn mark over their chest. So the rest of us have decided to band together and make sure he doesn't take us. It's worked so far.
Do we know why or who he's targeting and why?
No. She says, but he's gotten more aggressive as of late. I mean, we've always known the Devilman was out there. We've always known he was kind of a boogeyman that you could use to scare children to being good. You could scare the runaways into, kind of putting into the pot for the communal soup. But this one's different. He's killing people. He's aggressive. About 2 weeks ago, it was probably 2 o'clock in the morning. Most of the bars were beginning to kind of wind down. I was wandering through down Royale, and I saw this big black figure, 8-9 feet tall, huge horns, and he was cloven hooves, and he was walking down the sidewalk with this big wooden staff, and there was a couple that were kind of passed out on the sidewalk. I don't think they were homeless people. I think they just, had too much to drink. And he walked up to the boy, and the guy rolled over just enough to see what was about to happen, and then he touched him with his staff. Didn't hit him, just touched him with the staff. And the kid tried to scream, but he couldn't. And I watched the color fade from his skin as he died. And he turned to the girl and was about to do the same thing when he turned around and saw me. And I ran. And I'm really good at running. I'm also really good at not being caught. And so I got away, but
Useful skill to have.
yeah, he's real. He's not a fairy tale or a way we scare children. He's real and he's out there.
Is anything about the way she's describing this triggering anything in my memory or anything I may have heard of? Or
Maybe an investigation roll. Maybe.
I've got +2 investigation.
Okay.
That's a -1. Or no.
Positive one.
No, that's positive. Yeah, so it's +2 then.
All right, so you
By the
count.
way,
Positive 3, yeah. So
math not my
she looks at you and says, you're kind of wondering, does this sound real? This sounds like some kind of supernatural creature. You're thinking not demonic, because most of the demons you've had dealings with don't look like devils. They can look like lots of different things. You're familiar with them. You've heard of the denarians, who are the ones who carry the silver coins from that Judas, was paid for betraying Christ. Those are the demons you've heard of. You never met one, thank goodness. But you've heard of them, and so this doesn't sound like something like that. This sounds more like maybe something else. So you're not sure. What was that noise?
Upstairs.
Okay.
People
It
upstairs
was
walking.
something else.
Something else, right? Anyway, all right, let's cut to Kylan real quick. I'm sorry, Volt real quick. Volt, you're at basically the rum house, having a few rums, and then having some tacos and kind of hanging out. You're sitting there. It's about 2:00 in the morning. You really don't want to go home, and in walks Bunk. And you realize that this gut-wrenching pull has been pulling you towards him. You've been kind of searching for the last maybe 2-3 hours, trying to figure out where it was. You go one way and it pulls you backwards. You go one other way and it pulls you forward. And you finally realize you were going towards the rum house, which is a really good place to eat, by the way. And so you wander in the door and you see Volt. And he's, you know him, yeah. And he walks in the door, and so what are you going to do?
Bunk! And I flag you down.
Oh, shoot. Hey, how's it
Hey.
going, Colt?
Could be better. How about you?
For some reason, I was drawn here.
How precarious.
Yes. So, what's going on, man?
I've got a bit of a problem.
Okay.
Seems, a long dead associate of mine has come back to haunt me.
So, what?
Yeah, exactly. That's
a
how
good
I
answer.
feel. I was reading my book, winding down for the night, and I look up and some ethereal, ghostly figure is staring me in the face.
Now, did you have a few rums before this?
This is the reason for the run.
Oh. Okay. So, ethereal, dead, long dead, sitting there,
Milky white eyes,
just sitting
staring. I called out to it, attacked it. Nothing seemed to change.
Rum, please. All right. So, how about this? We'll have a rum, and this I gotta see this.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I mean I gotta see this. So,
all right. So
yeah.
the waitress brings you over a rum. If you're hungry, she probably has some
Tacos.
tacos. Yeah, they have really good tacos. You kind of hang out there for maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, settle up your check. You gonna head back to your warehouse?
Yeah.
You go up the external stairs that lead up to the office, which is where you set up your apartment. Open the door. Yeah. Standing by the microwave is Terrence.
Voila.
All ghostly, smoky. You can see.
I
Oh
can see
yeah,
him.
you can see him. No problem.
Well, I'll be damned.
He's not looking at you though. He is
Still.
looking at Volt, and every time Volt walks past him, he turns to follow him with his eyes, in his head. So he's ignoring you, but he's looking at Volt. But you can see him for sure.
So I guess. So I go outside and see what happens.
I'll
stay
walk
here.
outside and go down the stairs to the bottom.
Okay. You go down the stairs. He gets out the door and closes the door, and Terrence turns and looks at you.
Ooh.
Doesn't do
Did
anything.
I do anything?
He just looks at you.
So I walk around.
He follows you with his eyes. He has to turn as he needs to see you, but he doesn't say anything.
Okay, so I'm like, hey, dude, what's up? What's going on?
He doesn't say anything. He's just
He
kind of
just sits
staring at you.
there.
Yeah. I will say this much. The stare he's giving you is much less malevolent than the way he was looking at Volt. Volt, you got the feeling he would really like to do some serious damage
How
to.
bizarre.
Yeah, right?
What could make that happen?
But he just seems to kind of, Volt's not there, so he's looking at the other person in the room. You kind of get that feeling. He just kind of following you his eyes, doesn't let you get behind him or anything like that. Yeah.
So I call back to the vault. All right, he's coming in. See if he
Stomp back up the stairs.
As soon as you come in the door, he immediately latches eyes onto Volt, and that same kind of, that you just kind of feel this menace begin to emanate off of him. You actually maybe think that maybe the little white streamers of what could be almost like flame kind of begin to dance across him. When you were there, he kind of looked like a guy. Translucent, see-through, not normal, but guy. When he walks in the room, it's almost like a wind begins picking up around him and kind of blowing him like he's just really, there's an emotion kicking up there, yeah. Something like that.
Dude, you got a problem.
Yeah, a big one.
Yeah.
Because I can't kill it.
Yeah.
That's almost,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solve both problems that way, yeah.
Do we know anybody that could do exorcism or something? Or what would this be?
Do you have a lore skill? Make a lore check if you'd like to maybe see. If you're trying to find somebody to handle it, that would be probably contacts. If you're trying to figure out any information, that'd be a lore check.
I guess one would just. Do I know anybody that might handle the?
There's a few practitioners around who might. There's this guy who traffics in kind of magical stuff, and typically the people who do that kind of stuff are good at putting up wards. Sometimes they're good at doing things along those lines. You do know there's this, I don't know, person who works for the homeless. Have you guys met Dela? I'm trying to remember if anybody's met Jody's character Dela.
We have very intertwined stories.
Yeah,
so,
okay, but I don't think you guys have. Okay.
I haven't met you. You've been investigating me, though.
I've been investigating.
Yeah, but
So I don't really know you.
But I don't know that I'm investigating
If
you.
we
Well, I did.
Well, you're investigating
I've been
me.
investigating you because
I'm a suspect.
some
I think I've
shadiness
met
with
everyone
your
except
taking over the
for-
warehouse.
But you've heard of her. You know this guy.
Right.
Yeah, definitely Darwin. So Darwin
know
is a
followers.
practitioner who works with like creating weapons.
Yeah,
He does
her-
wards, magic circles, something like that. Now the other option that you might look at is ghosts. Many times come from the Never Never, which is the dimension on the other side of the veil. You could probably try and open a gateway to the Never Never.
That sounds like big problems.
Magic is easier, but there's a lot of bad, nasty things
Yeah,
there.
that sounds
You may have done it a couple times to kind of see what was through there. It could be dangerous. It could also help you figure out what's going on, but it's up to you. Now, as far as anybody who can handle it, probably Darwin's the best one to talk to,
Right, so-
or the church. So either one of those.
So yeah, I know a guy.
Do you?
I know a guy. He might be able to help out with. He makes magical stuff, so maybe he knows. But sometimes it doesn't work, so I'm not sure he'd be the best one to go to. But he might be our best bet
All right.
to get rid of this guy. Well, I get. It's the one thing I can think of right now, man. So you wanna?
Does he make late night calls?
I mean,
'Cause I like to get rid of this thing as soon as I can.
that's a good. Well, you got a phone around here?
Yeah.
You probably have a cell phone, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have any problem with cell phones. He might.
Not at all.
A little bit. Well, you're a focused practitioner. You could probably handle a cell phone as long as it's like a Nokia.
Yeah.
You could probably have an iPhone. There wouldn't be problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you gonna okay?
So I guess he has.
Bird?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a phone. He's
He's a-
All right, let me jump to Darwin. Darwin, you've been you got the microfiche from this kid in the library. You put it into the microfiche reader, scrolled through to the point where it's supposed to be. It says that your house
Yeah.
that basically 3 years ago there was a gang murder that occurred there. Seemed to be some kind of rival gang thing, and members came in, killed a young man and his girlfriend in your house, and it mentions the fact that this is a house that has seen tragedy before, which might allude to the microfiche they could not find.
Yeah, the one from 20 years ago.
Right. The house has seen tragedy before in the form of death and murder, but nobody can seem to locate that one. So it seems like your house may have a history of death and things like that going on, which, if that's the case, possibly ghosts could manifest. The thing that's weird for you is that you've been there for a year and have never had any issues, and then all of a sudden it seems to be a problem.
Weird.
For sure.
I'd really like to find the other microfiche.
We want to go talk to, is it Brad? Yes. The guy who had the microfiche?
Yeah, I will.
Or his name Brent. His name's Brent.
I think it was Brent.
Yeah. You go back up to the counter, bring in the microfiche with you, and he goes, oh, I'm glad I saw you. I found the microfiche. Sure enough, it had been put like 2 microfiche behind it. I found it. So here it is, and you're going to give me that one back. Cool.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'll go check it real quick.
Absolutely. Good luck, man. You head back to the microfiche reader, you put the older microfiche in, and begin scrolling through all the newspaper articles. Sure enough, 1990... It talks about that there was a young couple that lived in the house. They had 2 children, and that this group of people broke in one night, killed the couple, killed their children, robbed them. It was a home invasion, ended very, very badly. All 4 members of the family just completely dead. Really, really sad. There was a kind of a vigil held for them. The police vowed to catch these folks and never caught them. There wasn't a whole lot of evidence, honestly. I mean, so yeah, definitely your house has a bit of a dark past to it, for sure.
That's not cool.
Maybe that's why you got so cheap.
Maybe so.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, definitely got a dark past. There's even a few pictures talking about the fact that you can see that actually the room where you've got your thaumaturgy stuff set up is where the family was found dead. And so you're kind of like, oh, well, there you go. That's kind of a dark area to work. So, yeah.
That's a lot of work to move that stuff.
It is. Again, the really thing that bothers you about it is that...
I've been there for a whole year.
Yeah, and it's been no problems. And then all of a sudden things seem to be kind of doing weird.
Well, wonder if I can find anything back at the house.
Okay.
In that case, I'll just take it back to Brent. Take the microfiche back to him. And thank you so much for everything. This is a big help. Had got a much better idea. So, thank you for your time. It's
All right, man. Well, good luck.
yeah, thank you.
Wait. And as you start to walk up, he goes, is that your house?
Maybe. All right.
He looks a little nervous. He goes, okay, good luck, man. And so, yeah, you head out of the library. You head back home.
Yeah, I'm gonna head back home.
You head back home. It's probably around 6 or 7. It's getting a little dark. You head into your house. Probably catch, either ride your bike, ride your moped. What do you think it is? What kind of vehicle do you have?
I feel like he would be. It's like probably a moped.
Okay. This little moped, you strap your helmet on, and it's probably the easiest way to get around New Orleans.
Yeah.
Anyway, it takes you about 20 minutes to get home. You get back to your little house and lock your moped up on the front door or front porch. Excuse me. Open the door, go inside. Everything seems okay. It's pretty quiet. You think you're all right. You go back into your lab and the thaumaturgy room, and immediately the cold cold hits. You're just kind of like, this is really weird. And you're thinking it's maybe worse than it was before?
They know you've been checking up on them.
That's right. What do you want to do?
Well, at that point, I think I'll try to find out where it's the worst.
Well, you can look at you looked at the pictures on the microfiche, and you can kind of figure out where the family was killed. And so, sure enough, the area where they were found is definitely the coldest area. I mean, it's really chilly. Make me a a lore check. I think that's a really good one for you.
All right.
Phasmophobia has prepared you for this.
Ooh,
That is a +7.
Wow. Okay. You're standing in this cold area and you hear whispers. Like if you think maybe like a woman's voice saying, "Where are the children? Who took the children?" And then this man's voice saying, "My love, come back to me. Don't leave." And it's just there's maybe a baby crying, and then a kid going, "Who took my dolly?" And just kind of these weird voices just kind of carrying on. It's not. I mean, when you step away from the cold area, they disappear immediately. But it's like standing in this locus where they were killed. You can hear them talking to you, and you're kind of like, "This is really disconcerting. I'm not putting my bed here," that kind of thing. What do you want to do?
Ooh. Look, be realistic with the character here.
It's disconcerting. It's really weird.
Yeah, but I feel like my person's very much more hands-on, physical type person. So this is like one step outside the realm that he's like, I'd rather not deal with this.
Well, you could probably try and make a potion that would let you see them, or maybe even cause them to manifest. I mean, again, it depends on what you want to do.
I
want to be able to see the ghosts or just hear them.
I think being able to see them would be better than to make them straight manifest.
Yeah, gotcha. Alrighty, then you're going to need to do a thaumaturgy thing.
Thaumaturgy thing.
Yep. Let's see. You're basically just wanting to see.
I was just thinking, like, if I could make a ward and just like, yep, you're fine here. It's like,
no, you could do that.
Never have to worry about it.
You could also set up a ward. Basically a ward. You decide how strong you want to make it.
Yeah, I'm for right now. I'm curious enough. I'm curious enough to be like, what's happening?
Right.
But the moment things start heading south, it's done.
Are you? So what do you want to do? You want to set up a ward? Or you want to try and look at
No,
them?
I want to try to be able to see them. I want to, because if I can hear them, it stands to reason that they're probably lingering in the area.
Okay. I'm going to say that probably what you're trying to do is tag them with an aspect called visible.
Okay.
Which is basically a +3 complexity. What's your lore rating at?
+4.
Okay, so that's less than your lore. How long do you want it to last?
Time increments.
Right. Normally you get like one. Well, let's see. It would probably be like a minute from that. So if you want it to be a few minutes, then you're going to have to amp up your strength to like a +4.
The degrees of
Once you get above your lore skill, then we have to start doing preparation stuff. You have to find, rare things, skip a scene, tag an aspect or something like that.
Okay. For that point, then I would expect for it to be a few minutes. I would have to at least time, be able to actually look around and whatnot. You can see a lot in a minute, but I mean,
so that would still be only power 4.
Right.
So you're okay with that. Then let's see. You're going to take 1 mental stress.
Okay.
Okay. And then you roll your discipline to cast the spell.
All right then.
Okay.
That's a long time.
You need to get at least a +4 on your discipline roll.
All right.
Shouldn't be too bad.
Ooh. I got a 2.
Then what you'll need to do is either tag an aspect or something. Do you have an aspect that you could use and spend a point on? Now, your aspect that says, what's the one where things sometimes work but most times they don't?
Yeah.
I'm new at this.
Yeah, I'm new at this. That's probably a good one to where, instead of it actually failing, you realize, oh, wait, I've got the lens on backwards, and you flip it around, and, then it works fine. So if you do that, it's going to cost you one of your points, but that'll give you a +2 to the roll, and I think that should give you a 4, so you would get it, yeah.
All right, then, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll take
I doubt that, I have to deal with spectral things very often.
Right. All right, so you grab a pair of your goggles and you kind of do some incantations. You put them in the circle, kind of, look at the lenses and stuff like that. And you're looking across and everything's a weird color. At which point you go, oh, wait a minute. I need to reverse the lenses on these. They're concave and I need to make them convex. And so you flip the lenses over and all of a sudden you see that there's these 4 ghosts walking around outside the circle. Young woman, relatively pretty, kind of young man, again, kind of handsome, strapping, little baby who's kind of sitting on the floor, and then there's a kid who looks like around 3 or 4 years old. The baby's crying, the little boy is looking around going, where's my pickup truck, where's my dolly, blah, blah, blah. And the girl is, saying, what's happened to the children? And the guy seems to be going, my love, where have you gone? So they don't seem to be able to find each other is the problem. But they're all in the same area, they just don't seem to see each other.
Interesting. At that point, I kind of wonder if they manifest and be able to meet each other. If we could solve this.
Now, to do that, you'll have to lure them into the circle, which is not a problem. You'll just need to come up with a way to lure a ghost into a circle. And then you'll need to, of course, do another thaumaturgy spell. So, yeah. That's another mental stress, so there you go.
Right.
Peanut butter.
You get 5 mental stress, you're fine. you can kick some spells
A
around.
beignet with peanut butter.
But how would
Peanut
I
butter filled beignet.
how would I lure them?
Lore check?
Beignet filled peanut butter.
All right,
Plus 1.
5.
Just took a knife
All
and
right.
spread peanut
So
butter
you
on the beignet.
begin, you're looking at these ghosts. You notice that they're all looking for each other to get them
I
to
love
maybe
French
be
peanut butter.
lured into the circle. Maybe you need to do something that's associated with each of them. Maybe for the kiddo who's looking for his dolly, maybe you need to put a doll there. Maybe for the baby, something like a binky or a pacifier. For the man or the woman, maybe something that would draw them to each other. You've got a bunch of stuff in your lab. You can kind of dig through there probably and find what you need. Yeah.
Part of me kind of wonders if I could go back, get that microfiche, find their names, and then look up the obituaries of them, get the pictures.
You
And
could
then
probably
bring
do
them
something
back
like
for
that,
that.
for sure. Now, you'll have to do that tomorrow, though.
Yeah,
Because
that-
the library's definitely closed.
Right.
But, they're not bothering you. You probably got a few minutes, and then the vision on the goggles is going to fade. So, they're not going to bother you as long as you don't, go to sleep on the area where they were killed.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right.
That being said, though, I'd probably also need to go out, find a doll or a little fire truck or something, and I don't have a binky here, so
yeah, probably not.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
Tomorrow will be the plan. Yep.
So you settle in, probably head to, start making a list of the things you need to gather, maybe do a little bit of research in your books on thaumaturgy about what you're going to need to do. That's going to take a few minutes. Okay, cool. Jody, I'm sorry. Dela. Dela, you just arrived at the 422. It's this kind of weird-looking Victorian house with a lot of gingerbread, and it's got some little balconies that stick out of it, and it's got this kind of round-looking tower area, which is actually the entrance. You go in, and it's definitely a converted house, but they've knocked out most of the non-load-bearing walls. There's a bar along one wall, and there's this I won't say elderly gentleman. He's an older gentleman. As you walk in the door, he kind of looks at you askance, and he says, "Are you sure you're in the right place?"
This is the 422, right?
It's 422. That's my bar.
Then I'm in the right place, and I walk in like I belong there.
As you walk in the door, and you notice there's about maybe 10, 15 people there. It's kind of early. He says, law enforcement, you don't strike me as the type. Or maybe not, New Orleans law enforcement. Maybe you do strike me as the type to be something associated with the law.
I'm enforcement.
Kind of looks at you and says, what are you having?
I'll have an old fashioned.
Coming up. He reaches behind the counter, grabs the bourbon and all the other stuff to go with it and starts mixing you up one while really quickly. Hands it across to you and says, you want to run a tab?
Sure, why not?
Hand him a credit card. Not one of the ones that's got the magnetic strip in it though. Because those probably work fine for you, but nothing with the little chip in it or anything like that. That's for sure.
Isn't this? This is after the.
Yeah, this is it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but that always works. And he says, "All right, well, enjoy yourself." And he kind of looks at you a little puzzled, and then goes back to wiping down glasses, polishing the bar. A couple people come up and ask for a couple beers, and so he starts serving them. There's, like I said, 10 or 15 people throughout the bar. They're sitting around having beers, drinking. A couple of them are nibbling on appetizers, fried dill pickles, and stuff like that. Nothing really heavy. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna walk through the bar and kind of keep my ear open to anybody that might be having a conversation that touches anywhere near what might have happened to Terrence, or the warehouse district, or strange lightning burn whatever thingies on chests. And if I hear that, I'm just going to kind of surreptitiously walk by and then cast a veil on myself.
We could go a lot of different ways on this. Let's go to investigation. So let me get you to make an investigation roll.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared.
My rolls are terribly early.
Yeah.
Not bad. So 4 plus 4?
4. You're walking by. Everybody's kind of talking about how difficult it was. Yeah, we had that guy, that meth head that was out on, St. Bernard Highway. Oh my God, we had to chase that guy for 30 miles, it seemed like, before we kind of catch him and get him in the car and get him downtown where we could get him some help. One guy goes, yeah, we got a call for a domestic violence dispute and we got there and everything was fine. I don't know. I guess they'd made up before we got there. It was stupid. Had to get the dog out of the basement, that kind of couldn't figure out how to open the door. And so I had to, bring the crowbar and one person got, and so they're just basically talking about their day-to-day stuff. Now, what are you specifically listening for?
I'm listening for anything that's related to what happened to Terrence, Ninth Ward, maybe in the warehouse district, because I know that's where he died.
Right.
I also know that he had a circular burn mark on him
Yeah.
that the morgue said was electrical in nature. So I'm listening for anybody kind of mentioning anything like that.
You're kind of walking around, find a place to sit, and as you sit down and are kind of listening to things, you see this gentleman over in the corner. Looks like maybe a beat cop or something like that. He's not wearing his uniform, of course, but he's got his badge on his belt, and you can tell he's wearing a sidearm. And he's talking to this nice-looking, dark-haired lady, kind of with a short haircut. And he looks at her and he says, "So, you going to the funeral?" And she says, "For the guy I found?" He goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I don't know. Seemed like a nice enough kid. But I don't know. Kind of feel bad about him. His mom was really broken up by the fact that she lost her only son. And his funeral's in a couple days. It's going to be out at the. Let's see if I can find my information. It's going to be in a couple days at. Sorry. First Presbyterian Church of the Holy Redeemer, out on St. Bernard Highway. She says, I think I'd like to just go out there and offer my condolences to the mom just one more time, but I don't know. It just kind of depends on what's going on. The thing that really bothers me is that we know it was murder, but we have no clues on who did it.
Since I'm gonna be interested in this, and they're gonna find it weird if I just stand by their table for an extended amount of time. I'm gonna kind of step to the side and throw a veil up. So
Probably
I
want to do
can-
something like go to the bathroom and throw a veil up so you don't just
Oh,
disappear.
so I can walk with the veil on?
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah.
just didn't, okay.
Yeah.
So I hear this, then yeah, I'll go to the bathroom,
Okay.
toss the veil up, and then come back out and hopefully glean some more.
Okay. Let me.
I would have veiled myself from the beginning if I'd realized.
Well,
that.
yeah. Well, understand that every time you do that, you would have to re-up at every turn, and you're going to be taking stress every time you do. So that it's probably a good idea that you didn't walk in under a veil.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find exactly how veils work. Oh, examples of magic. That's what I want. 293.
Does it have to be a bathroom? Is there like somewhere nearby that I could just like duck around over?
Yeah, there's a bathroom. Like I said, you could definitely step into the bathroom. All right, so your power is 3 shifts, is typical for a simple casting. You're going to roll discipline plus the appropriate specializations and focus items. Now, if you go higher than 3 shifts, you can make it last longer.
Yeah.
Each extra shift you put in there basically gives you an extra exchange. If you want your veil to be even more difficult to pierce, then you're going to need to actually put some more shifts of power into it also. So this is a defensive block. So if you have spirit, evocation, and defensive, those kind of focus items will help you. I don't know what focus items you have, my friend. What do you have?
I have divination, focus, and I have defensive control focus. So no.
Defensive control
don't.
will. No, wait. Defensive will, because this is a defensive action. So it's a +1 or +2.
They're both +1.
Okay, so that'll give you a +1 in your defense. What's your discipline?
5.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. So.
I don't see.
Oh wait,
I
I'm
have,
sorry. I'm
and
sorry.
I have spirit.
What's your conviction? No, you have spirit.
Yeah, I do. I said, and I
Yeah.
have spirit.
What's your conviction? I'm
4.
sorry. 4. So add +1 to that for your focus. You can handle up to a 5 power shift spell with only 1 mental stress. Now, if you go above that, then and you still have to roll. Okay.
you take a mental stress, no matter
what.
how much. Yeah.
Do you have? Are any of your rote spells veils or anything like that?
Yes, one of my rote veils is a turn invisible with 5 shifts.
Okay, so you don't even have to make a discipline roll. You would just assume you get a 0, and that would be you would be invisible. What did it say?
That's pretty cool.
That's the base tower.
Nice.
Last one exchange. Others target number is +5 to see me.
Okay, so it just lasts 1 turn, is what it is.
Okay.
So you would have to re-up it every round, every exchange to try and get it to go. So you'll have to cast it. But it's a rote spell. It just means that every turn you do it, you're going to take a mental stress. Remember, after each scene, though, the mental stress is gone. So, yeah.
So how long does it last? I mean, am I looking at
One
minute?
exchange. Basically, it's like 1 minute, essentially.
I lost my dice. Oh,
Yeah,
there
I
it is,
have no
right
clue
there.
where it is.
It's over there by your foot, yeah. Okay?
Okay. So do I roll or no?
Yeah, no, you do not roll. You'll roll a discipline to cast this. No, I'm sorry. You don't have to roll a discipline spell. So I think that's right. Let me see. Rote spells. I'm still learning this stuff. Make sure.
I'm gonna do it for a decade.
With that. Sounds nice. Yeah.
I was thinking at the time
And
it
your
increments.
brain has turned to mush. But you're invisible.
That's right. Really invisible.
I just like that one of the time increments is several mortal lifetimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your brain is oozing into the floor, but nobody can see. There's a weird smell.
Okay, so you don't have to make any rolls. They're gonna have to roll to see if they see you,
Okay.
but they've got to beat a
I swear there's
+5
something
roll.
here.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it now. You'll have to do it every round, and like I said, it'll mean that you'll take a mental stress per turn.
Well, just let me know when a round is. I'm
Okay.
just not sure I understand how to change the round.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So you step to the bathroom, veil yourself very quickly.
And I quick walk back because I don't want to lose my.
Right. And so they're sitting there and they're kind of drinking beer, and the one guy says, "Well, look, if you really want to talk to the mom, you've got her address. You should go talk to her." And the woman says, I don't know. I'm just not sure. Just something doesn't sit right with me about this case. There's something that we're missing, and it's something that isn't normal."
Is the female cop wearing a badge or anything? Or
No, they're all in
anything?
plain clothes.
Okay.
You know, they've got their badges on their belts, and they've got their sidearms, but they're not dressed, you know, in their blues or anything like that.
Does he have a username?
No, he doesn't. And so she says, well, look, you know, the really thing that bothers me is that burn mark on his chest. How do you get a burn mark on your chest that's obviously made from electricity unless somebody hooks you up to a high voltage line? And there were no high voltage lines around. They just found him in an alley somewhere. It's just really strange. And so finally she says, you know, I am going to go to the funeral. I'm going to go to the funeral. I'm going to pay my respects because I'm going to figure this one out. And he says, well, you know, Holly. Don't let it eat you alive. We can't solve them all. That's it.
Okay.
What else are you going to do?
I guess I'll just wander and see if I hear anything else. But I'm thinking this is probably going to be it.
That's probably the only thing you're going to hear. Yeah.
All right.
Well, at least relating to Terrence, right?
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll wander back towards the bathroom and drop the veil.
Sure, you can do that. And then you're going to head out?
I'm going to finish my tab off and then.
Yeah. Okay. Get
Head
your
out.
card back, pay your tab, and head out. Okay.
Oh,
All right.
I'm going to tip him semi-well.
Okay, cool. He falls over. No, I'm kidding.
Ha ha ha.
He introduces himself as Cappy, and says that he's Cappy. He's retired from the New Orleans police force, and looks forward to seeing you again.
Thanks. I look forward to it. You'd make a good old-fashioned.
Well, thanks. Appreciate that. And you head out the door. All right. Who have I not worked with?
You worked with Devilman.
Okay. Okay. So, next, who's got something they're going to follow up on?
We've got a phone call to make.
Actually, can I do something else?
Yes.
Real quick before I
Real
forget
quick.
about it?
Sure.
What's on the tables? Like, are there salt and pepper shakers?
No. There's a list of beers. There's a list of bar food, and then that's pretty much it.
So it's just like a little piece of paper list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything I could pull off the table that I could take back with me to cast a spell on it?
Sure. You could probably grab. Well, you could honestly probably notch a piece of wood out of the table pretty easily and kind of surreptitiously in the corner if you want to try. If you do that, though, I'm going to need you to make a stealth check.
Just walk out with a chair.
Yeah, right. They'll never notice. I'm going to grab a chair, veil myself, and leave. Right. Yeah.
This chair's a little rickety. Why don't I go fix it for you?
Did you mark yourself down a mental stress, by the way?
I'll still have.
No, where do I mark that?
We're in the stress boxes.
She definitely.
You
saw
see
me
the
there.
stress
Where
boxes?
it says 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, where it says mental. So just mark one off.
That's physical.
I was
Yeah.
Okay. You were like,
Like I said, at the end of the scene, you're going to recover them anyway, but that's okay. Mental.
so good.
Mental, not physical.
No
Whatever.
clue what she was saying. Doesn't have my hearing
Right
awful.
there.
No, just.
Okay, so.
All You're going to try and notch on the stealth. Yeah. Oh my goodness. -1. What's your stealth at?
I don't have.
Oh, so it's at +0. Oh my.
Dang.
Any-
Could I have done it as a veil?
You could cast the veil again. Just remember, it's going to cost you another mental stress. So that's
I'm
fine.
gonna cast the veil and then
All right.
try.
Okay. Probably a good idea.
So 2 mental stress.
Yeah.
All right.
So you slip out the door like you've left, slip back in, take your pocket knife out, take a piece out of the table, slip it into your pocket, and then leave, right? Okay, cool. All right. Seems like no one's the wiser, even though Cappy got a +3. He's busy making old fashions and serving beer, so it's good. You have a piece of the table with you so that you can do
And no
your-
one expects us to take a piece of table.
Yeah, well, you're going to use it for your thaumaturgy stuff, so that's cool. All right, Bunk and Volt, you guys are getting ready to make a phone call to a certain Darwin-type character. You grab your phone out. You've gotten into bed. It's about 9, well, it's probably around 11 or 12 o'clock. And you've been asleep for a couple hours, and the phone rings.
Spam risk.
Yeah.
Too early. Too early.
Yeah, there's no spam risk yet. Yeah, that's not for another 10 years.
I don't have a car. What do you mean my
Warranty is expired.
warranty is back?
We have found you in violation of Social Security. We are going to arrest you. See you in court. Okay.
Your social security number will be deactivated for inactivity. That's not how that works.
That's exactly right.
You can deactivate it?
Can we do that?
Your citizenship has been revoked.
Yeah, well, I'm a
Yeah. Phone rings about midnight.
reach around real quick, grab phone. Hello.
There's a mumble on the other end of the line.
Say, did you give me a name?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Darwin, yeah.
Darwin.
Is this Darwin?
Yeah.
I've got a problem. I need a ward or something.
Who is that? You sound familiar.
Yeah, it's my name's Volt.
Dun dun
Oh
dun.
God.
Yeah. You've seen him. I don't know if you've met him, but you've seen him. Yeah.
I've met him.
Oh,
yeah,
because
he
I made the armor
he made
for
some-
him.
He made armor
that's
for
right.
him.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's like, crap.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you gonna say?
Look around real quick. Alright, yeah, what's going on?
Some ghost-like figure seems to be haunting me at my residence.
What a coinky dink.
Imagine that.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's kind of creepy.
I understand.
Oh, so you've done this before?
Yeah, sure. Why not? What you
Got an address?
man, it's late. You need me now?
The quicker the better. But if you need to sleep,
No, it's fine. It's, where do I need to go?
Give me your address.
yeah, I guess I can.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah 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 blah. Warehouse. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know the place. Yeah.
You know what that is, yeah.
All right, then I'll be there as quick as I can. Let me just grab some stuff.
Thanks, means a lot.
All right.
So you head to your thaumaturgy lab, grab some of the equipment that you need from there. Probably a piece of chalk so you can do a ward, maybe some paper, special iron infused ink, or actually it's probably depleted uranium infused ink. Don't tell anybody about that. That's kind of illegal to have, but it's good versus ghosts. Maybe some a small ceremonial knife so you can use blood or something like that.
And my good overalls.
Yeah, and your good overall, your utility belt, right?
Yep.
And begin heading. You gonna hop on your moped?
Yeah. Also gonna make sure I have my revolver with me.
Oh yeah, good idea. So you grab your revolver, make sure it's loaded. Hop on your moped and start heading towards the warehouse.
Well, yeah.
About an hour and a half goes by, and you hear.
Okay.
Okay.
I go downstairs to meet.
Yeah,
whoever this is.
Yeah, there's a moped down there. He's taking his helmet off, and it's Darwin. He's got a kind of a messenger bag, and he's wearing these overalls, and he looks like he's kind of here to put stuff together or take things apart or something like that. You're not really sure. But yeah, what are you gonna do?
I go up and reach my hand up. Darwin, good to see you again.
Hey.
Strong grip is coming out. So
Yeah,
Bunk is coming
Holy
out.
shit.
Yeah.
They all don't know each other.
Yeah. You head upstairs.
Yeah.
Kind of in passing. Ships in passing the night. You head upstairs.
Yes.
All right.
I'm
You head
not
upstairs.
gonna lie. Good thing you came down because I was told it's gonna be like wherever the ground entrance is.
Just start knocking, rattling things. Yeah, I hear you. You head up the stairs to the second floor where the office would typically be in a warehouse, and you open the door, and probably Volt's with you, Bunk's with you, and things like that. And as you step in the door, you see there's a ghost. Very obviously a ghost. You've dealt with ghosts before. In fact, you've seen a few tonight.
Yeah.
Standing right by the microwave. He was kind of looking at Bunk when Bunk was in there, but as soon as Volt comes in the door, immediately the spirit turns towards Volt, and you can tell that the agitation level goes up several notches. This creature really doesn't like Volt at all.
The EMF reader hits 5.
Yeah, right. Oh my god. Yeah, definitely a full corporeal level 4 manifestation. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's. Oh man. Yeah, I thought some like light haunting. I wasn't expecting. Wow. All right.
Slimer.
Well, then I want to go up and like actually like get a closer look at it at that point. Then that's
the creature's definitely not. Or the ghost is definitely not manifested. You kind of walk up to it, and you kind of put your hand out, and you get a cold sensation, but not really chilly, not like your house. It kind of flows around you.
that makes me so much more worried about that.
It's not really cold like your house.
Not like where you
And
sit.
this is actually a little different. Make me a lore check real quick, since you're kind of sussing things out.
Well, that's fine because that's still a 3.
All right. This is definitely a ghost, but there's something different about it than, say, the ghosts in your house. This is something weird going on. Yeah.
And since I'm like looking at this,
Not looking at you, looking only at Volt. Very malevolently at Volt. Really would like to, snap Volt's neck, kind of thing. Yeah. Definitely ignoring you.
What did you do to
Yeah,
this guy?
and watch when I leave, and I go back downstairs.
And then when he leaves, you notice the ghost kind of turns and looks at Bunk, and then turns and looks at you, and he's just kind of like he's just watching you. You don't nearly feel this sense of anger and stuff like that. And then of course Volt comes back in, and the hair starts blowing back, and the streamers start coming behind him like he's standing in a hot high wind. He's definitely got some pent up anxiety.
You had a question.
Yeah, so
Yes.
what did you do to this guy?
Well, you've seen my line of work.
Yeah.
You can all see that there's a big hole in his chest that you can kind of look through.
Yeah.
This guy's, got a big hole in his chest where maybe his lungs and heart should be, and probably his sternum, and it's missing.
I may have done that.
Possibly.
Huh.
Noted.
Now I know why he was afraid to answer the phone.
that wasn't a problem. I answered the phone.
Yeah.
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 It was who was on the other end.
Oh, shit.
Right.
You better call her ID.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I just woke up.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I just woke up. Well, this is disconcerting, strange.
Yeah. For sure.
What is your goal? Like, what you just want
Want
it
it
gone?
gone? Yeah.
All right.
I'd hate to lose my warehouse.
I
So
understand that.
you gonna try and do that?
Yes, I like to try to make a ward, and I feel like this would be good practice for
Right.
home.
To try and ward this against him, you're probably going to need to overcome his conviction.
Yeah.
You don't know what his conviction is. You can do an
Right.
assessment roll if you want. That's a lore check to see maybe how strong his manifestation is. And then once you get that information, that'll tell you how much power you need to put into it. How long you want to leave it in place is going to be, again, some more stuff to go in there. So yeah.
Yeah, because I looked just a tiny bit into thaumaturgy, but I saw where, like, unlike how, say, like, Bunk's magic is like a very kind of thing, and mine's like a much more slow kind of thing,
yeah.
how I can kind of take it in bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah.
So it might, okay. So I want to do lore. I want to try to figure out if I can find out how strong his manifestation is.
All right, cool.
And that's still a 3.
Okay. It's kind of hard. Did you take a wizard sight or anything like that?
No.
Okay. It's kind of hard to determine. This spirit seems pretty strong. You're not exactly sure why. Maybe because of the locale. Maybe something is feeding it energy. You're really unsure. You're not sure a ward is gonna keep it away.
Yeah.
Or if you do put a ward up, it's gonna have to be a pretty significant one. Yeah.
Play a calming tune.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah.
That's a greatly calming tune.
Yeah.
Very calming. feel so much calmer now.
Just that. I'm going to say, some of that out loud. It's like this weird. It kind of seems like he's feeding off something. I'm not sure if it's the place or if there's something else in play here. But if he's gonna go, we either need to find a way to get rid of whatever he's feeding off of, or I'll really have more work in for me than if we can't do that.
What was your lore roll again?
3.
3. You do know that sometimes ghosts are fed from the Never Never, the alternate dimension. So it might be you need to sever his connection to the Never Never.
Yeah.
And
how can I do that?
So you need to open a gateway. This is where we were before, and maybe do battle with whatever is over there.
I'm having Arkham Horror.
You okay?
Yep.
Yep.
It's more of a surprise than anything. It didn't really hurt. I was like, oh god.
Now you could open a gateway using thaumaturgy. You could do it using evocation. You can't do it.
No. Yeah.
But you can definitely go through the gateway. Once the gateway's open, you can definitely, anybody could step through. Mundanes, anyone. So, yeah.
In that case, I'll bring that up. There's a chance we could try to make a portal to the Never Never and find out exactly what he's feeding off of and maybe get rid of it.
Okay.
In which case, it would make setting up a ward, or he could just be gone entirely. I don't...
So this is New Orleans. We should know, like somebody should know an exorcist. I mean...
You could consult an exorcist, not right now, it's a little late.
Yeah.
You would probably need to contact the Catholic Church. You do know that there is a voodoo store in the French Quarter that supposedly is associated with Marie Laveau. You could possibly go there. You're not sure how legit it is. You also know that a lot of the psychics and people like that hang around Jackson Square, so you could even talk to some of them. There might be some people there who might have some legitimate ability with ghosts. Again, it depends on what direction you want to go.
I think I might try the Catholic Church.
Church.
Yeah.
And the voodoo, maybe both.
Just didn't look happy.
No. I imagine not.
No.
I wouldn't be very happy.
Death is kind of a permanent thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, gonna wait till morning. You may want to get a hotel room.
No, I'm not sleeping here.
Yeah. You don't
Just
like
being
that
there.
shit. And
We
you
go
guys
find a
may want to head back.
hotel.
He doesn't
Now, if I
follow you?
leave, am I still pulled
You
towards-
still feel this kind of mild pull towards him. You're realizing that this whole pull was something is telling you need to work with him.
Okay.
You're not sure what it is. You feel no mild pull at all. It's just, yeah. So I guess you.
Yeah, I'll show you all the way out.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by. Give you both firm handshakes.
Yeah. You can close the doors up, lock it. Terrence doesn't follow you.
And I'll grab a book to.
Yeah. You head back to the little artist commune there. It's kind of late, but there's still a few people up. Nothing untowards or odd happens. You head up to your room and crash out for the night. You're pretty tired. You played a set or two. You head back to your place and continue sleeping.
Yep.
Volt, you find a kind of a cheap hotel that's reasonably priced, that's in the business district, and you're able to bed down for the night and get some good rest. Terrence does not follow you to the hotel, thank goodness.
I want to get something on the second floor too.
Okay, no worries. You can do that for sure. All right, Miranda, what are you doing?
So I was, what time is it now?
You had talked to Albert, and then what had you done?
I went to Jackson Square. I talked to his
Right.
sister.
Right. It's
Zelda?
probably around 9 o'clock. The sun's gone down. The oddest thing happens. Most of the practitioners around Jackson Square fold up their tables and their tents and are kind of headed out. It's gotten quiet. You notice the first thing that happens is this cat comes climbing down or walking along one of the branches to the little fenced-in area where Andrew Jackson's statue is, and hops off and lands on the ground. And as soon as that happens, it's like cats come out of it everywhere. About 5 or 6 of them, and they all hop off of branches. Some of them, kind of from second, and they're in this little fenced-in area, just kind of sitting. It's really disconcerting. You almost get the feeling like the first cat that showed up is kind of sitting apart from them, and it's like it's holding court. And these other 5 are just sitting there listening to him kind of meow, meow, meow. It's really weird.
Is this happening inside? I remember the lady, the fortune teller, telling me not to be inside of the gate.
Right. When the cats show up.
I'm not.
No.
Okay.
What about dark? They chase everybody out of the garden area around Andrew Jackson's statue, and they lock the gates, and so nobody's in there except the cats. The security guards come in and chase everybody out. So yeah. Mainly because they don't want people sleeping in there at night. They want to keep it nice.
Would I know anything about like what this is? This cat congregation?
You can make a lore check, but you're gonna need a pretty good roll. What do you have any aspects that might help you with odd, strange things?
Not really.
No. Okay. Then you're just gonna have to make a really good roll.
Okay.
You can do it.
Happen. You've heard stories about cats holding court. You've heard stories.
anime?
Yeah, you've heard stories about cats stealing people's breath by sitting on their chest. Nothing like this. This is it's very disconcerting to the point where you really get the feeling you would like to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
All right. Well, I'm gonna leave that creepy business to do its thing,
Yeah.
and I'll hand off my doggy bag from the restaurant to the first homeless person I find. Head back home. See if the pawn shop is still open. Check and see if they have a tent.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Okay, I'll get that.
Probably for about
out.
$20-$30. Yeah, pretty easy.
And kind of. I guess I could try to go back to Dela's house since it's not too terribly late.
Yeah. Jody, where were you heading after the 422? Or Dela, I should say. Where were you heading after the 422?
After I leave the 422, I'm gonna head back to my place so I can take this little chunk of table
Right.
and
Maybe do some
do
stuff
my
on it.
do my thing to it so I can listen in.
You get back there probably around 8 or 9 o'clock. You
In the
just
evening?
finished up getting your in the evening. Yeah. You just finished getting up your stuff. Did we decide what kind of transportation you have in the city?
I figured that I don't have like really high resources, so I figured I was pretty much a cab or bicycle person.
Well, they've got a pretty good bus and trolley system.
Trolley,
So
yeah.
you can get
Probably
those
have,
are
like-
pretty easy. Yeah. So
Probably use public transit a
Cool.
lot.
we'll say you hop a bus or two and maybe take a couple transfers. It takes you probably about 30 minutes to 45 minutes to get over there. It's around 9 o'clock. Dela, you've been in the house for probably maybe 15 minutes and there's a knock on the door.
Okay. So I walk to the door.
Yeah, you got a peephole. You can look out.
For a second there, I thought that was your entire reaction. Knock, knock, knock. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to decide, do I really want to stop what I'm doing and enter the door or just ignore it? Okay, I'll go into the door.
You look out through the little peephole. It's Miranda, your friend who works with the Catholic Church, kind of works with homeless people. She's a bit of a street preacher. Yeah,
All
saving the
right,
lost.
I'll unlock the door and...
Hey, are you busy?
Not really.
Okay, good, great.
Pregnant pause.
I had kind of a weird day.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just been like, I don't know. There's something happening in the city. I don't know, and I think it's maybe more in like your wheelhouse than mine, if you know what I mean.
Okay, sure. What you'd have?
So, some of my homeless guys that I kind of look out for, they're like, there's some hysteria going on about a Devilman character. And
A Devilman.
Yeah, a Devilman. Apparently it's kind of some people think it's an urban legend, but some of the soothsayers downtown have pretty much confirmed that they've seen it. I don't really know what to make of it because I obviously it's just kind of coming to me in pieces right now. But we're talking about like a 9-foot character with horns and a staff. There's also like a string of murders and maybe cannibalism. Like, I'm not kidding when I say it's like been a really weird day.
Huh.
So anyway, here's the weird thing. So some of the bodies that people are finding, they have like burn marks in their chest.
Really?
And
Are they like circular-ish
Yes.
burn marks? Or do you know if they're electrical?
do I remember if that
Did
was
not
mentioned?
seem to be
That-
electrical, no.
That wasn't mentioned per se.
Hmm.
But so this fortune teller in the square, she said she like witnessed one of these people being killed, and it was like this Devilman with the staff, and they did it with the staff, you know.
Do you know the name of the fortune teller?
Sister, I wrote Zelda, but I don't know if that was right.
It was Isolde. I believe.
Isolde.
Yeah, Sister Isolde.
Close.
Isolde.
Yeah, very close. Very close.
Yeah, Sister Isolde. You know, she read my palm.
Okay, so Sister Isolde.
Mhm.
Am I familiar with Isolde? I
Make
mean,
a context check. I know her.
could I tag the use an aspect of listen to everyone?
Sure.
I mean,
You
because
have to give me one of your,
listen to everything.
Yeah, you have to give me one of your. Well, you can roll
Oh.
first and then decide whether to tag it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I have to use a fate point.
Yeah, you have to use a face
Roll
one.
tag thing.
Roll high.
Ooh.
My goodness. That's
Now, remember,
not
you can
high.
use a fate point to either re-roll all 4 dice or to
Mm-hmm.
give yourself a +2.
Well, my contacts is 3, so right now I'm at 0.
No, you got a +1, so you're at
No,
1.
I
Yeah.
am 1.
So it depends on what you want to do.
Knowing how I roll, I'm going to use a fate point to give myself
A +2, or do you want to re-roll? Your choice.
a +2. No, knowing how I roll, chances are I'll roll
Then it'll be
the
all
same or
Okay.
worse.
or negatives.
So that brings you up +2 more, so you're at +3. All right. Yeah, you've heard of Sister Isolde. You know that there's a group of people around Jackson Square. They're all kind of minor talents with magic. Most of them are pretty much on the up and up. They do
Is she a
card-
minor talent herself?
She's probably a little more than a minor talent, maybe a little more of a focused talent. And she kind of takes care of everyone around Jackson Square, keeps them safe. She seems to basically be a good person. She hasn't broken any of the laws of magic, seems to be okay.
That sounds good.
Yeah, right? Yeah, otherwise White Council would become a gunning for her. But she seems all right.
Is she somebody that I would just know and be aware of and not introduce myself ever to her?
But to you, what do you think you would have done? You got a contacts roll of what? +3? You probably introduced yourself to her. Maybe not more than that, but you probably at least said, "Hey, I'm the warden for New Orleans."
Because if she's a magical-ish, then she would have to, okay.
Right. So you probably introduced yourself because she's kind of the leader of this group. I'm the warden for New Orleans. If you need anything, if you need me to contact the White Council for you. You also know that a lot of these people are members of what's called the Paranet. It's kind of an online exchange of information and ideas so that these people who are lesser and minor talents can keep each other safe, share information. They can build wards together to keep each other, safe again from kind of evil nasties. They bond together because they're not strong enough to maybe stand against something by themselves. But when you get 20 or 30 minor talents together, they can do some stuff. So yeah.
Well, I'm going to say, Miranda, I know that she is part of this thing called the Paranet on the internet, that they kind of work together to figure things out and can make wards and stuff, but I can't do that. Computers fry around me.
Right, right.
So
sure.
if you want to kind of delve into this Paranet thing, just keep me apprised. I don't want anything happening to you because you looked the wrong
Well, now,
direction.
there are these things called books that you probably have a few of that.
Now I have books.
Yeah, well, or you could actually read. I mean, so
No, I'm just telling you what you can read.
I know. I can read. I can read. I
In
can
one
read.
session, I can read. I have books.
Yeah. So you can also look
the
into
internet.
yeah,
Wasn't
right.
gonna happen.
Just not the internet.
Yeah. So you can look into some of that as well.
Yeah. No, I'm just giving her something that she
Right.
could do that I can't.
Because she
So
doesn't have anything to do right.
she came to me with a problem.
Right.
I'm being helpful. That's what I do.
You are. You're being very helpful.
Thank you. Thank you. Fisherman Miranda.
So it's
That's
like
right.
a forum for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you do that, I'll check my newly acquired books.
Literacy.
And literacy, I'm
Right,
literate.
right. Literacy
Yeah.
books.
So yeah, so I,
What a great world it is.
Jeez. Anyway. So I'm gonna go back. I tell her that I'll go back and check my books to find out anything. Now, can I do a lore check to see if this creature, person,
Absolutely. And before she
Fae,
leaves, you can still do a
whatever.
lore check. So yeah, do a lore check real quick.
if
What's your lore at?
my lore is a 5.
Ooh, that's high. Wow.
Oh, wait.
-3, huh?
And she's back.
Do you want to use another point to try and
No, 'cause
re-roll
then I'm
that
dead.
or something?
I'm dead. I
No,
need
that's
to-
not. That's not like that.
No, huh?
That's a fate point, not a refresh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You
Alright,
can
then
spend all your fate
I'm
points.
gonna spend my fate point, and I'm
Might
just
as well.
gonna
You get them
roll
back
it
at the
off.
beginning of each session, so why not, right? I will blow through those. Well, that's good.
Alright.
Oh, there's a plus. Let you have that one back. Oh, you want that? Okay. And the GM touches it. All right, so
Yes.
that gives you a +6.
So now I'm at a 6.
All right, so you go into your back room. You probably follow her. Maybe
If
grab
I'm
a
invited.
yeah, sure. You can you grab a couple books off the shelf. Start flipping through there. You run across this really old history book on ghosts of New Orleans. It probably was written like in the 1830s. It's a copy. It's not an original edition or anything like that, but it's an old book. And you realize that there's this creature that roams New Orleans. It's got big bull horns and it's got cloven hooves, and it's a creature of, it's a manifestation of fear. Okay. And that the creature seems to feed on fear. In fact, the fear of its victims are what make it stronger. And the only way it seems to be able to be destroyed is if someone who can resist the tangible fear that it projects can strike it, then it can actually injure this creature. Otherwise, it is completely immune to any kind of attacks or anything like that. So yeah. Definitely have to be able to overcome its fear. Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, so as I'm flipping through my book, I'll say, "Hey, Miranda, I think I found something that'll help you."
Oh, great. Awesome. What have we got?
So this guy is actually a manifestation of fear itself. So you get enough people that are afraid of things, and New Orleans in the dark at night. Did you tell me about the cats?
I didn't
Okay.
mention that at this point.
So weird, things that happen. Probably he scared somebody, got scared, and it just grew because they went and started telling stories about the Devilman. And it probably is hitting the homeless population because they're the ones that are
Right.
going to really feed into that fear the most.
Mm.
So according to this book, the only way that you could possibly defeat him is to have someone, or maybe a lot of someones, that wouldn't be frightened by him, that could stand up against maybe their fear. And I would think if you got people who were not maybe
People who are
weak-minded or weak-willed, that could, if we told them, hey, it's just a manifestation, they could push it away. Kind of like going into a really scary haunted house, knowing it's scary but not being afraid because
right.
Jody.
Jeez.
I'm sorry, Dela.
Jeez.
Give me your fate point, please, that you spent, because I'm going to offer it back to you. Because as the warden of New Orleans, this is definitely something you should be taking an active interest in. because you would not want to just leave this in Miranda's hands. This is something you're going to want to handle.
Right
That's
now,
kind of
I
what you do.
figured I would be handling it with her.
Are you going to handle it with her, or are you going to go and explore Terrence's death? Because you're going to have to put Terrence's death on hold while you do this.
Yeah, I do both.
Well, if you're really going to go after this thing, Terrence's death is going to have to take second story while you try and figure out what's going on. Your choice.
It's not related?
No, you don't know. Doesn't seem to be. You get the distinct feeling that it's not related. So, if you want a fate point, you're going to have to give up on chasing after Terrence's killer for a little bit and help Miranda with her issue.
Well, Miss Clara did not give me a timeline.
She did not. Well, and Terrence isn't being buried for 2 more days.
And I will take the fate point.
There you go. All right.
Because I roll terrible.
All right.
So far, I'm 3 for 3 on that.
So, do you want to go out and look for the Devilman tonight, or what are you guys thinking about? You do know he normally strikes at night. That seems to be when he's getting people.
All right, so let's just do a quick tour of around tonight. And now, what else do you know about him? All you've told me is that Isolde.
I'll give her the rundown of like where, because I can't remember.
Download.
Yeah. Of like the sighting areas. Another weird thing. I'm not sure if it's connected exactly because kind of my brain's really kind of overloaded with all this information today. There was like like a congregation of cats like having church in Jackson Square.
You make a lore check. See if you heard of
Do
it.
I need to? I already think cats are evil. But
Well, you probably know they're evil, but the question is, do you want to know what they're up to? Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'll do a lore check. I think he gave me a fate point just so I could.
Cats away, the anime.
Yeah.
Well, we got 1 minus, so it's a 4. I'll take it.
Nice.
Yeah, you know what the cats are about. There's been rumors that the Fae folk in New Orleans have been stirring. The cats didn't really start holding court until about 2 or 3 months ago, when there was kind of an influx of fairies that came into New Orleans. Now, you haven't really seen any of the fairies since then. They could be in a lot of different places, urban fairies. Urban fairies, though, typically tend to be the dark fae, the ones that are associated with winter, anger, the darker manifestations of emotions. The summer court tends to be more, healing, helpful, happiness kind of stuff. And this definitely would be something along those lines. So probably this is a manifestation that has something to do with the winter court. They're kind of tough characters to deal with.
Would there be... So this congregation of cats, they're not the fae folk themselves.
Could
They're
be.
just cats that are being
You've
touched.
heard of cats you've heard of fairy folk that manifest as cats. The one that come to mind the most often are the Malks. Remember the Malks? The Lewis Carroll wrote about them when he wrote about the Cheshire Cat. Except the Cheshire Cat was a nice Malk. Normal Malks are really sharp teeth, not just smiles, really bad claws. They're kind of ancient cat creatures. The Malks are kind of, they love to mess with humans until they actually do something where they get killed. And the Malks think that's just hilarious because humans are just kind of prey to be played
And
with
that's
in a
something-
typical cat-like fashion. So yeah.
So that's something I know from my lore.
Right, but they're definitely fairy creatures. Now, this may not be what those are. These may be something completely different. But the first thing that pops to mind when you think cat fairies is Malks, and they're not nice guys. You don't want to play with them.
Now, my library of books that I have, do I know like every single book that's in there,
Probably
or
most of them. Do
I have a book on Malks?
No,
in
not
there?
at all. You probably have a book on fairies that talks about Malks or cat fairies that are kind of mean and nasty. And, if you see one, go the other direction and maybe give him a saucer of milk and some catnip so he won't follow you home because they're really not cool.
Okay. So do I have a fae contact?
No, not at all. You haven't had a chance to really... Well, okay, all right, I'll tell you what. I'll let you make a contacts roll, but you're gonna need a pretty good roll to have a fey contact.
Okay, dice. Play nice. Ah,
What'd you get?
I'm not playing nice. I got a 1.
Yeah, you don't know any fey creatures, and you know they're in New Orleans, but you just haven't had a chance to. Okay. Yeah. Still no. You haven't had a chance to really establish, but honestly, you're more concerned with the magical community, not with the fey community. So, and since they haven't been really doing anything overt, you're not sure if it really hasn't come across your radar recently.
Yeah, but I mean, it's on my radar now.
Yeah, well, they're there, but just that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they just were kind of singing.
Yeah, it was there was one sort of central cat sort of presiding over the other cats, like a cat mass.
Jellicle cats are.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was it was a weird
Definitely a weird vibe.
yeah.
I'll have to find a way to do some more research on that.
Alrighty. So what else are you guys gonna do? You gonna go looking for the Devilman, or are you gonna, maybe try and do that the next night, or what are your thoughts?
Do you think
I don't think
It's
that's
late.
up
It's
for two.
midnight.
Oh, is it midnight?
Well,
Okay.
it's actually probably about 10 or 11 actually, because she came over to your place around 9. You've done some research. It's probably around 10 or 11. You had the discussion about fairies and malks and stuff like that. So it's getting late.
do you want to get some rest tonight? Plan to set out early tomorrow night?
What do you mean by early? I view myself as a late riser.
Early in the night. Like earlier
Oh, I
than
can do
midnight.
early night.
What time do you get up usually?
Oh, probably 11, 12.
Oh,
It's a good time.
okay. Yeah, that works for me. Just I don't know, going into it fresh maybe.
Okay.
I can.
So I'll meet you at, Café du Monde at 11?
Perfect.
Beignets and coffee.
Sounds good.
All right.
You're talking about 11 p.m.
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, a.m.
Right before noon.
Got it.
Breakfast
Yeah,
time.
that's perfect.
Brunch time. All right.
That's good.
So you head out. Do you want to go see if you can find Albert so you can give him a tent?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
go hunt down Albert.
You head back to the little overpass that where you'd seen Albert. Albert's not out panhandling tonight. Instead, there's this young kid. He's kind of scrawny, but he's sitting in kind of the shadow of the overpass. He sees you, turns a flashlight on, sees who it is, turns the flashlight off, and he kind of steps out and says, "What do you want?"
Hey, I'm looking for my buddy Albert. He usually.
Oh, Albert. Yeah, I know where
Yeah.
Albert is. Look, he's in the tent city. You'll find him. Just look for the smell. And so the kid drifts back into the shadow of the pylon for the overpass. And he does a pretty good job of hiding, but there was definitely a palpable feeling of that he was watching.
He's on watch. Yeah.
You kind of move into the tent city. There's several people still cooking. There's one guy sitting over by a fire that's smoking. You hear some noises coming from tents that sound pretty amorous, which means that the girls are definitely working in the tent city. Some of the prostitutes are. You get deeper into the tent city and the smell starts to hit you. It smells like humans and, poor sanitary conditions. And over against one of the little concrete walls near the street, you see a sleeping bag. And you think you see Albert's, blonde dreads kind of peeking out. What are you going to do?
Is he sleeping?
You think so.
Okay.
Either he may be passed out, but he's probably maybe just sleeping. You're not sure.
I'm gonna see if I can rouse him if he's not in a drug stupor.
Yeah, well, you walk over to him, you kind of nudge his shoulder, and and he comes awake and spins around, and he pulls the knife out.
It's all right. Hey, hey.
Oh,
it's
okay.
me.
Hey, what was you, Miranda?
It's just me.
Hey,
It's just me.
did you get that tent for me?
I sure did. I pull it out of my.
You got the tent for me, man.
Look, I told you.
It's gonna be
Looking
so
out
much
for
better
you.
to have a tent. I'm gonna make sure nobody steals this tent.
Yeah, you
So
keep an eye on
he
it.
says, "Wait, this is one of the new kind of tents. How do you put this thing together?"
I'll help you put it together. It's
You
not
spend a few minutes, kind of pulling out the tent poles and putting them together, and he's watching what you're doing. You notice he seems to be in a lot better shape than he was last night. He doesn't smell quite as bad, and he doesn't seem like he's been drinking or doing any drugs or anything like that. You put the tent together for him, and it's kind of one of these little dome tents. It's just going to barely fit him, and he goes, "Wow, that is great." And he says, "Look, Have you gotten a chance to look into that Devilman stuff I told you about?
Actually, one of the reasons why I wanted to come down here is let you know that I have been looking into it. I got a couple of leads, and got some friends gonna help me try to take care of it.
I remembered something about the Devilman. Yeah. Big Tony, says that the Devilman always comes out around the full moon. And, the full moon's gonna be in 2 days.
Okay, well that's good information.
And that's what Big Tony says, so,
Terrence's funeral in 2 days.
Do I know Big Tony?
Huh?
Do I know Big
Full
Tony?
moon in 2 days.
He's one of the homeless guys. He's a very large black man. Nobody messes with him because he's a big guy.
Okay.
He's kind of older, and he sometimes kind of sets himself up as kind of a beggar king. And so runs like little groups of people who panhandle, and they have to give part of their commission to him, and he protects them and stuff like that. He did that for a few years, and now he's just kind of in the tent city right now for the last few months or so. It doesn't seem to be running any scams or running any groups or anything like that. Yeah.
I'll say, well, you're looking kind of good.
He says, thanks. I listened to what you said, and I'm trying to get myself a little more straight than I was. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get cleaned up a little bit, maybe.
Hey.
He grabs his sleeping bag and kind of shuffles his feet into it and slides into the tent and zips up the door. And it looks like he's pretty fast asleep almost by the time you turn your back.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'll head back and get some rest for the night.
You head back and get some rest for the night. Everything seems to go pretty quietly. First person up. Anybody in particular want to be the first person up in the next day?
I'm a fairly early riser.
All right.
I was say musicians are generally not.
I'm looking
I was like, none of these people
We're all late
I'm
ones,
thinking
yeah.
1, 2.
Not gonna happen.
What's wrong with
Yes.
these people? It's before noon. Like I
Yeah.
habitually from
Yeah.
the military
Person
life
calls
probably
somebody
get up.
midnight.
Hey, come look at this.
Yeah. So you're probably up around what? 8, 9, 7?
Yeah. About 9 o'clock, I would say, is
pretty
sleeping
late
since
night,
I had
too.
a late night.
Yeah. You get up around 9 o'clock. What are you gonna do?
Get together some supplies.
Okay. For like care
For
packages again?
a
Or no?
No, for a stakeout. Like,
Okay. Binoculars.
Yeah.
Pawn shop has binoculars. They can sell you for pretty cheap. You may want some glow sticks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever I think will be useful on a little bit of a stakeout.
Give me an idea of what you're
Right.
planning to get.
Yeah, obviously some binoculars.
Mm-hmm. Not night vision because those are too expensive.
No,
but
no. Just some food and snacks for sitting out.
Power bars.
I don't know if I would have to buy this. I'm gonna check my wardrobe for tactical wear, black clothing.
No, you can
something
probably
like-
get that. Yeah. What's your resources at? I think
It's pretty low.
What's like 0 or +1? You got
Where
plus
do I
one
see that at?
right here.
Oh, okay.
Plus
Yeah.
1 resource. So yeah, you probably have some black tactical gear, or if you don't, you can buy some black sweatpants and a black sweater, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not very expensive, so you definitely got something like that. You probably have a warm coat because remember it's October and November, so it's a
Okay.
little chilly out. Probably a warm, dark colored coat.
Yeah.
Anything else you're gonna try and get? Food, maybe stuff like that.
Yes, food, stuff like that. Some holy reliquary things, just in case. I don't know if that's.
Well, you've got the sword of the cross, and remember, it
Right.
counts as a holy item. I mean, it's literally got a.
Okay, so I probably wouldn't need,
No, it's
not
got
gonna
a
be like
nail from the crew.
exorcism
Yeah,
kit or
right.
some shit.
Yeah, it's pretty serious. Well, you can probably get you some holy
And we
wafers.
already kind of determined that this isn't
Right.
a demon that we're probably
Right.
dealing with anyway. So,
Yeah.
all right,
You
I
can
feel
probably
like
get
it's
some holy
probably-
wafers, and if you want some holy water, you could definitely get some from the St. Louis Cathedral. You have some connections there with some of the priests.
Okay.
It wouldn't take anything to do.
Yeah. I'll just do that until it's time to meet up with Dela.
Make me a resources check just to make sure you can find all that stuff. Nothing major. Yeah, you're
Plus
fine.
one.
Yeah, you're able to look at all that in the little pawn shop downstairs. The guy who owns it is a pretty good friend of yours. When you head to St. Louis Cathedral to maybe pick up some, holy water and some of the holy oils, they won't give you any of the sacrament or anything like that. But they'll give you the holy water and holy oils, and they're happy to give it to you because they know that you're kind of a street preacher and you deal with some kind of weird stuff. You don't actually meet the archbishop, but one of the deacons there who is willing to, kind of give that to you. He gives a little glass vial, of the holy water, a little glass vial of holy oil. Yeah, so you're good. You're pretty much outfitted. And 11 o'clock rolls around. You head to Cafe Du Monde. Yeah, Jody, you've gotten up. Anything in particular you want to do before you head to Cafe Du Monde? It's probably about 10:30 in the morning.
I'm gonna. How long would it take me to get to the 422?
No, 422 is not going to be open.
No, I know.
Okay.
I was just gonna see what their hours are. I don't remember looking to see the hours.
They open around 2 in the afternoon, and they close around 2 in the morning.
All right.
Sometimes, it's 2 in the afternoon until. So, you know.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna head to the Cafe Du Monde. I have my usual accompaniment of my umbrella and
Right, gotcha.
gun and knives and stuffs.
All right, so you head to Cafe Du Monde. You guys roll me your 4 dice. Let's see who gets there first.
I'll be last, I'm sure.
I got a.
Yeah, broke even, and you got a -1. All right. Dela, you show up first. You look around for Miranda. She doesn't seem to be there. You have to wait in line for a little bit until you finally get a table. Young lady comes over and asks you what you want to eat and drink.
I'm gonna order a couple of orders of beignet and I guess I'll be a coffee person.
Okay.
I'll order a coffee black and I'll order her a coffee and then ask for some sugar and creamer in case.
You just finished getting getting the order to the table. She's just brought it there, and sure enough, Miranda walks up. She's got a couple orders of beignets and a couple cups of coffee.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But an ungodly amount of sugar in it.
Yeah. You plunk down.
I'm like, I basically make it a latte.
There you go. Yeah, well, there's a lot of sugar. She made sure there was a bunch.
Were lattes a thing in 2010? When did lattes
sure they
appear?
were.
Sure.
I'm sure, yeah.
You know, Starbucks was around, so there you go.
I don't drink coffee. Who knows?
Yeah.
And
I turned it into ice cream.
There you go.
All
Sounds
right.
good. So what are you guys going to do?
So, I've been thinking about how we're gonna track this thing down, right? And I don't know, other than just like beating the path and setting up like a stakeout. The thing is, I don't really know where we would stake it out at, right? But I do know a guy who a while back gave me an artifact that helped us hunt down. Remember what was her name? What was her name?
Daisy?
Annabelle.
Was it Daisy or Annabelle or something like that? I can't remember.
It was Abigail or Annabelle. What was her last name?
Can't remember.
The vampire lady.
But you guys helped in your story together.
I have it written
Don't look
down.
on there. Look at the bottom one. Yeah.
Sorry.
Who's Annabelle?
Annabelle. Okay.
Yeah, it was
doll.
Annabelle, but
Wait.
her last
Yeah,
name
right.
was whatever the red court vampires are.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Scabious.
Yeah.
Annabelle Scabious. Yeah, so
That's right.
somebody beat me to it, but it did work because I eventually did get to her. So I'm wondering. I don't know. This isn't exactly the same kind of creature, but I'm wondering if that guy could make us something that would like,
Draw it to you.
Yeah.
douse it out.
Maybe so. Now, the vampires and the fae, do they interact
creatures.
ever?
Very different creatures. Apples and oranges.
So they wouldn't really know much about each other. Okay, no, that sounds like a good idea.
Just maybe it would give us. We could do the stakeout tonight. I don't know how long it would take to make the thing.
Well,
But
did you learn anything else about the Devilman?
yeah, I spoke to the guy, my friend Al, and he says that according to Big Tony, the Devilman comes out, strikes on full moons. So we might have our best luck in a couple of days on the full moon. I don't know if he means around the full moon or on the full moon, like specifically. We could probably beat the trail until then. Otherwise, I just, I want to try to get a beat on where we could probably find this thing before we lose our chance and have to wait another month and obviously more victims.
Yeah. My friend Terrence, or our mutual acquaintance Terrence, he's being buried in 2 days.
That's weird.
That's a
Yeah.
coincidence. All right. Well, so if the homeless are seeing them, they're probably more scared of anything than anybody.
Mhm.
I mean, they're easy to frighten. So maybe we should start somewhere in the vicinity of, not in the homeless area, but where they might venture to outside that could scare them.
Right. Do we have a way of like finding out where these like? Could we nail down on a map where these murders are taking place? Do we have that kind of? Do you have people that?
I don't have people, but I
don't really have.
Later this afternoon,
police.
I need to make a stop by a bar, and I might be able to install something that would help me
Okay, all right.
get some information.
Any company or might be better to do it alone.
I think I'll go in by myself. It's a cop bar.
Got you.
You don't really look like a cop. I mean, I don't look too much like, but I look more like a cop than.
You don't really
I
look
look more like
a cop.
enforcement.
You don't look
I
like a cop, but you carry yourself like someone who
an authority.
is an enforcer. Is the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're used to being listened to.
Respect my authority.
That's
All
right.
right.
And I've only gone there for once, so I don't want to make them go, wait, what is she really up to yet?
Okay, so we think we might be able to get some of that information together.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully we should be able to do it in a couple days. If I can get it installed today, then I should be able to hear something probably.
Well, do you want to go by the police precinct and see if you can get any of your cops friends or any of your contacts to give you a list of
Yeah, sure, I'll do
homeless
that.
murders or something like that died with fear on their face or something like
I'll
that?
do that.
Because you can't do that for Terrence because they will shut you down. But this is a completely different.
Right,
level of
I'll
thing,
just go in there and say, hey, I wasn't here, but yeah, okay. So I'll go back to the precinct.
While you're doing that, maybe I could go check on getting that item from the guy, and we can meet back up.
Which item?
Like the dowsing thing.
Oh, the dowsing thing. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good.
All right, so you're gonna go check out Darwin, I take it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Darwin, you're probably around 11 o'clock. You
Hot
maybe
man.
have just rolled out of bed, probably got in a shower. You're thinking
Right.
breakfast. Or is this really more of a lunch thing, or is this really more of a brunch thing? What are you thinking? Do we do mimosas, or do you go straight for the whiskey?
Tough choice.
Yeah. We having eggs, or we having sandwiches?
I don't know if it's already 11.
Yeah.
Might as well just be sandwiches at that
Okay.
point. That's
You've just put together a sandwich, really nice sandwich. Probably some, side.
fantastic sandwich. I
Yeah.
got 5 craftsmanship, guys.
That's right. That's true. That's
right.
sandwich.
Damn
That's just
good.
a really
It's like
good
one of
sandwich.
those Scooby-Doo style.
Measuring the
It's not a sandwich, it's a
Just so-
sandwich. That's right.
All started.
Right. And there's a knock on the door. You've just taken your first couple bites of it. It's really good. But there's a knock on your door.
Unfortunate. All right.
Always right when you sit down to eat,
Or go to sleep.
That's when the telemarketers call.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and
right.
I'll answer the door real quick.
Telemarketer's making house calls.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey friend, I shove a brown paper bag. I have a habit of taking a doggy bag from every restaurant just because I always usually give food away to people. And I just shove some of the leftover beignets at him. And
Oh.
I'm like, hey, so remember, you remember me?
Yeah.
You remember. Beignets. She's one.
Oh, yes. Surely.
I didn't know where I was going.
Yeah, she stopped me by to
that's
get
right.
some mead. Yeah, so that thing, that you made for me to help me find the vampire.
No, how'd that go?
I found her.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
good. It
yeah.
worked.
Yeah, absolutely, totally worked. Totally worked out exactly how I thought it was going to.
Marking down, yes, works.
So there's this other thing that I kind of need to find now, and I'm wondering if there's a way you could retool it. Do we remember what it was that you actually gave me?
Yes.
Could you enchant, craft, calibrate this item to hunt for something else?
Guess it would depend. What are you hunting for?
A Devilman? Yeah, so it's so that's the thing. I don't exactly know what it is, but it is a
Just to be sure, you don't mean Lucifer.
no.
That's way beyond my pay grade. That is
Probably
not
not
a
Lucifer.
Yeah.
You're not 100% sure.
Yeah, probably not. I think it's more of a a colloquial term. I'm not sure. So it's 9 foot tall, horned, cloven, not Lucifer, probably. cloven-hooved creature with
Sounding
a
a lot like
staff.
Lucifer right now. So I'm just saying.
That feeds off fear.
Maybe not Lucifer. That
That's
sounds weird.
that's maybe not Lucifer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I don't think,
very Lucifer till the end there. A little skew, but I
Yeah.
mean that's
yeah.
okay.
It doesn't sound like something in the demonic realm, but maybe a distant cousin. Not sure. Do you need to know exactly what it is in order to?
It would help.
Okay.
Can we
Well,
tell if you don't?
I'm not super.
If he's going to try and get you
Into
to track this thing, he's going to need a piece of the thing to track it. Now, that being said, if he's trying to set up something that lures it in, he won't need a piece of it. So it all depends on what you're trying to do.
So it feeds off fear, right?
Okay.
Could you create something that we could use as bait to get it to come to us? Maybe something that like generates fear or
Seems to generate fear.
seems to generate fear.
Yes, you could.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It
It's
was,
pretty easy.
yeah, we'll play the ring constantly.
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you could do
But
For sure.
yeah, I feel like I could probably do that if you just need to lure it.
Right.
Yes, I need premium bait.
Okay. You want to try that? It's gonna take you a
Yes.
little while. All right. So you head to your. I guess she follows you to your thaumaturgy circle. You give him the brooch that he had set up before.
Mm-hmm.
The brooch is nice. It's something definitely she could wear, but you need to come up with some ideas for manifestations of fear. So you take a piece of black cloth to represent darkness, death, things like that. You take some grave dust, to kind of give you the texture and things like that. A little bottle of water because drowning is pretty scary. You have a small miniature coffin, which death frightens a lot of people. And then for spirit, you kind of nick your finger and let a little bit of blood drip there.
I was thinking that because I was thinking that could also be fear of pain.
Right. So you've got these set up on in your circle, and you light 2 or 3 little candles around there. It's gonna be you're gonna need to have a power of 3 just to get it to occur. But if you're gonna try and get it to be a larger radius, you're probably gonna need to kick it up 2 power levels.
2 power.
Right. And then depending on how long you want it to last, if you want it to last for like a day, you're gonna need to kick another 3 power levels into it. So we're talking 10 power levels. Okay. Now, ways around that, of course, are that preparation, different things like that. So there's ways to get around that. Yeah.
Because I remember this is like the stage by stage thing.
Right.
At this point.
Exactly. So you're gonna need at least 10 power levels to be able to do that.
While I'm sitting here thinking about this, can you stand in that spot real quick?
That spot?
Yeah, just real quick.
Sure. Yeah, I stand on the spot. So I don't need it like right away, but I kind of need it soon, like in 2 days.
I feel the disappointment rolling off of him.
Yeah.
I need it by
2 steps to the left, real quick.
Okay, yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the full moon, that's kind of like when I
Make me an
need it by.
investigation check.
Okay. I have a +2 on that, so that's a 4.
While you're standing in this spot, you hear these little whispers. Things like, "Where's my mommy? Where's my daddy?"
Yeah. So like if you need a little time to get it, what?
Yeah, and you're hearing these whispers. Where's my mommy? Where's my daddy? Who took my binky?
Someone here.
Yeah, well,
Well, you're here. I'm here.
Yeah, no. So like, are there children here?
I don't have kids.
Okay, I'm hearing someone asking.
Good, I'm not the only one. All right. Anyways,
Thanks.
I just want to make sure. All right. And this will probably take a little while to make for you, though. Just
Are we just gonna breeze past the?
I was just want to make sure. Anyways,
Make sure of what?
he seemed like he's
Exactly.
breezing past it. Didn't he?
Yeah, I'm concerned there are children in the basement of this house.
Well,
I
it's
don't have
funny.
a basement.
Yeah, there is no basement. You don't have basements in New Orleans. If you do, you have a swimming pool. That's right. Yeah, there's not basements. There's swimming pools. That's
Or a
pretty much it.
swamp,
Or
I
a
would
swamp. Or
think.
yeah. There's no
Pool.
basements. Yeah, you don't really do basements.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting. Kind of makes you a little nervous.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little while. It's gonna take a little while to get this.
Serial killer.
worked in there for you. But
If you want, you can use an aspect. Do you have an aspect that would allow you to make this a little faster? Something that would help you create items. Now, wait,
my high aspect is just gadget making artificer.
right. So you could definitely tag that. Now, let's see. Where's thaumaturgy? What's your lore?
4.
Okay. Don't you have some focus items that give you a bonus?
I got 1 for crafting.
Okay, well, you're crafting. That's what this is. Yeah.
True.
What does that give you? +1.
+1 in crafting.
Okay.
My specializations is an extra +2 to crafting.
Okay, so, and is that number of uses that we do that?
Frequency was the other thing.
Okay.
Yes, and that is number of uses.
Okay, so the frequency can be directly applied to the amount of time it will last.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you only need to have 8 levels of power in it. So with your lore and your 5, if you want to do that, you could also make a roll like with resources, or you could make a roll with.
I have 3 for resources.
Okay, and see if you maybe have some stuff lying around that would help. So if you want to make a roll check with that.
So what we're doing first. We're doing resources first. See if I have any of the relevant
Let's
things.
see. Yeah. The things I kind of listed. Yeah.
Right. Which will
That's
make
pretty
it a
good.
5.
All right. Yeah, you're able to find all the stuff that you need to kind of do that. You're actually, instead of using, some of the things like, coffin dirt, you're actually able to find, dirt that was gathered, midnight on the, new moon. And so, you're able to actually get the resources together. So you think you can do this pretty quickly. It's going to take you maybe a couple minutes to, kind of steady yourself and, center to the point where you can set everything up. You want to do it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then you need to make a discipline roll. Oh, take 1 mental stress, but remember that it's been a scene, so this mental stress has gone away.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just put 1 back there. Then you roll discipline to cast the spell. Hold on. And it's equal to the power of the spell. Now, with thaumaturgy, you can, instead of having to do it all at once, you could say, okay, I'm going to try and get 2 steps of power into it this time, and then the next turn do 2 more steps of power. And you could spend, literally you could spend an hour doing this spell, and if you do that, I'm not going to make you roll because you can take as much time as you want. Okay? She's going to sit in there and, probably eat the beignets she brought for you, but yeah.
Look at
Fair
that
enough.
sandwich. Looks
You can maybe eat a sandwich, right? Yeah. But so it's up to you, or try to. But yeah, you don't. If you spend an hour doing this thing, you don't have to roll. I mean, you'll just kind of basically slowly trickle power into it.
I already told her that it would take a little while.
Yeah.
So I think I'll just do that.
Okay, cool. So you don't have to roll. All right. So you spend a while kind of, centering yourself, probably, doing this and, or however you get yourself kind of calm into the state of mind. You take the little brooch, light the candles, ring the bell, and you kind of walk up. You gradually begin pulling in power to kind of stick it in there. And the first thing that you notice is that the power you're drawing is cold. Okay, very, very cold. And it's a little scary because it seems like the power is either coming from the ghosts or there's some kind of dark manifestation in the house. And it's flowing, in there, and it didn't mess with your potions before, but this is definitely something you're not really used to. It's really strange. Cold. Your hands get a little chilly. You notice that, frost has formed on, maybe your mustache and beard, if you guys mustache or eyelashes. You're sitting in the kitchen and you notice that, it's gotten a little chilly in there, colder than normal. Like he's got his air conditioner on and it's October, November, which is weird. Or maybe there's a window open. So
that combined with the voices that I heard earlier, am I getting any wise to what I feel like might be happening?
a lore check. That would be where you would look on that. Oh, nah, he has no clue. No, he's got his air. He's probably left a window. Yeah, he's left a window open somewhere. Silly man.
Now we just have to see where you
but you can definitely tell that the power is gradually trickling into this thing. The brooch eventually gets kind of a frosty, iced over look to it, and as you seal off the power into this brooch, it's just definitely you can tell that something odd is going on. You pick up the brooch, and the first thing that happens is it feels really, really cold. I mean, it's metallic,
Right.
but it feels really cold in your hand, almost like an ice cube. He comes out of his back room, and he's got this brooch for you and hands it to you. And oh my gosh, it is so cold. I mean, this thing is just really, really, really chilly. I mean, you almost don't want to pin it to yourself or anything like that, because wherever it touches is just going to be really chilly.
Kick to it.
Yeah. You gonna pin it to your?
I'm gonna put it on the outside of my jacket, not through my shirt.
You pin it to your jacket. I'm gonna need you to make a discipline check.
No. Oh God.
Oh wow. She
-1.
pins it to her jacket, and her eyes get the size of saucers, and she lets out a shriek of just abject terror and hits her knees. Okay, you cannot see,
It works.
you cannot
I mean-
hear. You are so scared. You have never felt fear like this, and you're a follower of the Almighty God.
Right.
You trust in Him and lean unto Him in times of trouble. You have never felt fear like this before. It absolutely terrifies you. Your heart just racing and going like that. That's not what you were going for. I mean, that's not quite what you were going for. You're definitely going for the fear thing. What are you gonna do?
Quickly rack my brain for what this is.
I'm like getting into the people.
Yeah, you're not sure what's happened here. This is not right. You're kind of running through the formula in your head, and going, this is not right. Yeah. You're going to take probably a mental stress just from that. Well, hang on. Actually, let's do this right. Let me make a mental stress attack on you, and then you can make a defense. Okay. Oh, well, that may go well. Okay, -3. So I got a 0. So roll your, probably conviction to try and defend against it. See if you take it. Oh yeah, you roll a lot better than me.
Yay.
Okay,
This is
so
positive.
the fear is starting to kind of subside. You don't take
Sort
any
of
damage
like
from
grab a
it.
rosary, start
Yeah,
doing a prayer.
Right, exactly. You start praying. She's
take
mumbling
it off.
Right, and she's mumbling, and you gradually get yourself under control. But there's kind of this in the back of your mind, this little creeping sensation of chill and fear. Like, you're not sure what happened if the Devilman showed up right now. Whether you would, draw your sword and attack, or whether you might just grab it, because you're just the fear is just palpable. Yeah.
That might work too well.
Yeah, just, let's not wear it.
Yeah,
Just-
maybe not.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, so you slip it into your pouch or something like that, or your messenger
I'm gonna
bag.
take like a handkerchief out and wrap it first.
Right.
Like I don't even want to look at
Well,
it.
when you take it off, the fear goes away.
Okay.
You immediately feel better. You begin running through, probably the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And so you feel immediately much better. But this thing is it's odd. This is not what was supposed to happen. Well, okay, it was, but this is a weird manifestation of it. It should not have gone this direction quite as much. Yeah, it's pretty strange.
More.
Well,
I need to go to the library.
Yeah, maybe.
it's potent.
Yeah.
It's definitely potent. So
Job.
Right?
Maybe. All right.
that should work.
Yeah, it'll,
Thanks.
if fear draws the Devilman, this thing's going to draw him like a moth to a flame. So it should work pretty well. All right, so Volt. Probably. Well, okay. You're a musician. You were up late. Late riser, early riser. Okay.
Probably 1, 2 in the afternoon.
What are you thinking, Kyla? When did
Probably
you?
early-ish.
Okay.
9.
Okay, so you're up then. You do notice that when the sun comes up, now that Terrence is nowhere to be found. So with the sun up,
I'll go up in the hotel, right?
you wake up in the hotel. Good night's rest. Probably grab some breakfast in the hotel restaurant.
Free complimentary breakfast. hopefully.
Right? Yeah. Continental breakfast.
A
Yeah.
bagel and butter. Or something.
Yeah, bagel and bacon. You head back to your warehouse.
I get in my 1967 Chevy Impala. And
There you go.
Rattle on down to the warehouse.
Climb the stairs.
That's it.
Climb the stairs into where your bedroom and stuff is. Yeah, Terrence is not there. But there's also sunlight streaming into the windows and some of the the upper kind of clear ceiling tile. So yeah,
I want to check where he was. Is there anything?
Don't see anything. It looks
No,
pretty
like
quiet.
residue or
Nah.
nothing? Okay.
Not even cold spots. I mean, it's pretty
Um,
nice.
He mentioned something about the place.
Mm-hmm.
Might be feeding the energy or something.
Something.
So
yeah.
I want to look for something out of place that's not mine, or just something that looks, I don't know,
Okay.
weird.
Do an investigation roll then.
Okay.
Maybe bad, huh?
I am untrained.
Ooh, that's +0 then.
You can do it.
Locating my fate point. Hey,
Whoa.
Wow.
a 2.
Okay.
Total.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary. Either something that's been left there by someone, or that is missing. So you're not thinking that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Alright. I guess I'll lay my book down that I
Mhm.
grabbed for some reading in the motel last night.
Right. Gideon's Bible.
Yeah. I will then get back into my vehicle. I'm gonna text. What is it? Bunk. I'm gonna text Bunk. Headed to the cathedral. Was it whose cathedral?
St. Louis Cathedral.
St. Louis Cathedral. Looking into purging my warehouse.
Okay. Right. It's about 9 o'clock. Text hits. Yeah, you're asleep. No clue.
There's drool.
Yes. You park down by probably Jack's Brewery and walk to the St. Louis Cathedral the rest of the way. You're going to see if there's anybody there who can help you?
Yeah. So I'm not looking for anything like touristy or
Right.
anything like that. I'm gonna go to like I guess find a pastor or a bishop or
Priest.
something.
You walk in. It's right after 10 o'clock. 9 o'clock mass is. Oh, sorry. It's probably right around 9:30, 10 o'clock. 8 o'clock mass is finished. You don't see a priest around. You see several tourists who are kind of sitting in there praying. One or two of them seem like they're lighting candles or something like that. But you don't see a priest or anything. There is a little gift shop off to the side. You can probably check in there if you want.
Yeah. I guess I'll roll in there and ask if there's a priest around.
Yeah. You go to the gift shop. There's a young man standing behind the counter, and he says, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, I'm looking for a priest.
Well, the Archbishop is a very busy man, so you're probably not going to be able to find him. I could probably let you talk to one of the deacons.
Sounds good.
Okay. He says, "Give me a second." So he picks up the phone, dials, and says something, and he says, "Yeah, Deacon Fontainebleau says he can speak to you briefly." He says, "If you go into the St. Louis Cathedral, take a hard left. You're going to see a door in front of you. Follow that door, and he is the third door on the left." Okay. You go.
Thanks.
Yeah, you go into the cathedral. Sure enough, there's this little door off to the side, wooden door that you go through. It swings open, and there's a long, very modern-looking hallway. With fluorescent lights and cement walls, and there's like maybe 5 doors on each side, and then it ends, kind of a dead end. You go down to the third door on the left, and sure enough, there's a little nameplate on this wooden door that says Deacon Fontainebleau.
Okay.
Okay. Come in.
Hi. Go in. Yeah.
Seated behind this desk, it's a room with a lot of shelves. There's an overstuffed chair behind the desk. There's 2 overstuffed chairs in front of the desk, and then a nice wooden kind of, it's a red stain. It's probably not mahogany, really. He's sitting behind there. He seems to be writing something. He's got some books open on the desks as well, and he looks at you and he says, "Yes, were you the one that called?"
Yeah, I got a problem.
He says, "Deacon Fontainebleau, have a seat."
Okay. I'd shake his hand, or lean out my hand for a shake.
He shakes your hand, absolutely. He says, "So tell me what seems to be your problem."
You, how much do you know about the spiritual realm?
The spiritual realm, we're talking demons, angels, ghosts. Really, my forte is in demons and angels, being a deacon of the Catholic Church. I've heard of ghosts. I've heard that they manifest themselves around here, but really not much more than that.
Could you point me into the direction of someone who would know about
In the church?
anywhere?
There's a woman, a bit of a self-styled preacher, who preaches on the streets by the name of Miranda Lambert. Gagnon?
I forgot about that.
Gagnon. Miranda Gagnon. She has, from time to time, dealt with manifestations of the supernatural. I would say that if you're having an issue with some kind of ghostly presence, she might be the one to speak to.
Miranda, what again?
Gagnon, Gagnon. I guess it's Gagnon, not Gagnon or something like that.
Yeah, Catman.
I've got a card for her. She lives just north of I-10 on Canal Street. He pulls out this business card, and it's actually his business card. He writes her name and number on the back and hands it to you. So, and this is my business card if you need to get in touch with me. Sorry, I couldn't have been of more help for you.
No, you're plenty of help. Information's always good.
Good. I wish you. I will be praying for you, my son, to be free from these manifestations of these evil spirits.
Thanks.
Yeah, head on out. Okay. So it's about probably 11 at this point. You've rolled over, seen your text, and gone, okay, he's gone to the church.
And I'm gonna keep them updated every place I change.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
You get another text.
Yeah, so, about 11 o'clock, you get another.
That's why you're up at 11.
That's right.
Said I sleep till 2. Do you?
Really? Not so much. So 11 o'clock, you get another text from him that says he's going to meet this woman named Miranda Gagnon, okay? Or Gagnon. You've gotten a text that says he's going to this woman Miranda's place. What do you want to do?
I guess I want to get up and I got to practice. So I'll practice. My hour, yep, practice, and that'll take about an hour. So just, so just text back, keep me updated.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You head to this woman Miranda's house. She actually lives above a pawn shop. You get there, the pawn shop owner is kind of down there, behind the counter. You can probably ask him if you want to.
Yeah. Hey, person named Miranda.
Yeah, she rents the room upstairs. Who's asking?
Tell her a concerned individual.
Well, she's out right now, so I'll leave her a message. Do you have a way she can contact you?
Yeah, I grabbed a sheet of paper and just off of his desk and write it down.
Phone number?
Concerned individual.
Individual.
Not creepy at all.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
so you're able to leave her a message, but she's out right
and
now.
I'll say, tell her it's urgent.
Okay. He says, sure, I'll get the message to her as soon as I see her. He folds it up and kind of puts it on the counter, kind of behind the cash register, so it's, easy reach. Yeah, sure, no problem.
And I'll grab some, bobble and say, yeah, appreciate it, man. But pay for it, just as a kind of like a,
right.
Thanks for holding.
You buy the silver chopsticks off the top row that are all covered in dust for, $50 or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But silver chopsticks are kind of a cool thing for a dragon sword, so
Yeah,
sure.
it would be
Yeah,
pretty
right.
cool. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So what are you doing next?
At first, I thought you were just going to take it. I was like, yeah, you got a bobble. Thanks, man. Just leave.
Just walk out.
That's very rude.
Douchebag.
Yeah.
I guess I'll grab something to eat and wait for a call or whatever.
Yeah, you grab something to eat. You finished your practicing. He said he's going to get something to eat, probably at Joe's Chicken Shack. Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles. There we go. Go to Roscoe's, yeah. He's gone to get something to eat at Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles. Probably could meet him there. Chicken and Waffles doesn't sound terrible. Miranda, you finished getting your spooky device from Darwin. What are you going to do?
It's been named
The terror machine.
Terror machine, that's right.
Did we plan somewhere to rendezvous after you went to the police department?
No.
You could try leaving your telegraph. Just a little.
Smoke signals is about the probably most successful way to get.
We
All right.
did
While
not
I have you
decide
here,
where-
how do you get in touch with wizards?
You meet them face to face.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Call them on an old-fashioned phone.
Right,
That's
right.
right.
Yeah, it's like no, you need. They just kind of point in the corner. And there's like a little round table
right.
with like an old school. It's like
Got it.
Yeah,
There's
that's-
a wizard's phone above
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, right. Wizard phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. I'll look
Yeah,
into
that's
that.
it.
Okay.
Well, you know where I live, right?
Yeah, I do know where she lives, so I will camp out onto her porch until she gets back home.
Cool. All right, Jody, you've headed to the police department to try and find out stuff from them.
I have a
Hang on,
sandwich.
I'm a little confused on the timeline here. This is the next day.
Okay, well, this is after you've just eaten beignets. So it's
Oh,
still,
just after.
this is
Oh,
right.
okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
it's the same day. So, yeah.
See.
So it's probably about 10 for you. You're heading down to the police precinct to see if you can find out some information.
I was just gonna say you should be able to find me because I don't get up till 11.
No,
Well,
no,
this
you
is
guys
the
met.
same day we had lunch, and then I was gonna go get the thing from
Right.
him, and then you were
Well,
going
what
to
time
do
is it?
something.
So it's maybe noon, maybe 1
Maybe
o'clock.
one,
then.
two. Okay.
She's still hanging out with
Alright,
Darwin.
then I am perfecting my little listening device.
Okay, so you're setting it
I'm
up.
getting ready.
So you're doing
I'm
thaumaturgy.
waiting
then.
till 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
Doing that.
All right, so thaumaturgy is what we're doing. How long do you want it to last?
Okay, so does that mean how long do I want to be able to listen in on conversations?
That's correct.
I'm
So-
gonna say let's go for
If you want it to last for a day, you're probably going to have to put in about 3 or 4 shifts of power. If you want it to be able to reach your house, you're going to need to put in a couple more shifts of power. And then you're basically creating an aspect called listening in.
so is that 7,
Let's see, 9.
9?
So that's how that would work. What's your lore?
Alright, my lure is 5.
Okay, and this.
I need discipline too.
No. Your lore is 5.
Okay.
Do you have any items that help you do kind of divination or anything like
I
that?
have a +1 for complex divinations.
Okay, so that would definitely help you. So that gives you a +1 to your lore.
+1.
So that's 7.
Yeah.
Okay, so then to get your power up there, you can make a resource check to see if you have some of the rare
Oh,
items
and
you
then
might
I
need.
have. But is it divination?
Yeah, it's divination.
Well, then I have a divination. Oh, never mind. The strength.
Well, no, that's the strength of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sorry. This is complexity. Strength would be when you try and roll to control.
Right. Okay. So I guess just a +1.
Okay, so you've got 7. So what else are you going to do to try and get your strength up? To do this, you can make a resources check to see if you've got any of the rare items you need.
Oh,
you know, lots of
okay.
different
That's
things
the
you
kind
can
of
do.
thing.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'll do the resources check
Okay.
first.
Or you could tag it. Well, you don't have any points, so never mind. Make a resource check. Hopefully, you'll do well. Oh, good deal. Wow.
Wow, really well, really well.
Yes.
I need a beer. I'm gonna go to my fridge and get a beer.
So what does that put your resources at?
Maybe I need
Okay,
to
well,
relax. That puts
-1.
my resources at -1.
Okay.
Break the item, you need it.
So yeah, you don't have any of the stuff you need.
You go for a beer and you don't have any.
Yeah, you're out of here. There's no beer either. Yeah.
No.
The only other thing you can do, you can sacrifice some of your own energy to it, which means you could take a consequence of on yourself, a medium consequence. Oh, sorry, a minor consequence. It could be something as simple as really tired, or you know.
That's a mild. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay, so check that off. You have a mild consequence, and that would take care of it. So you'll need to write on your character sheet, exhausted from casting, or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, and so what you'll need to do is do something to help you heal from that eventually, like get a good night's sleep or something. That'll start your healing. Okay, and then in one scene that'll
Really
go
strong
away.
coffee.
Yeah. All right. So now, Jody, you need to make a discipline roll, and this gives you your +2. Okay. Now, and
Why does this give me the okay?
that's
I got
+2
you.
for your focus item. Now, you do not have to get all 9 power at once. You can decide, okay, I'm going to do 2 power this round, and 3 the next round, and then 2 the next round. You can take as long as you want. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What are you going to do?
So I guess let's shoot for 2 power since I'm doing
Okay,
really
make your
well
roll.
with this rolling
It's a
thing.
discipline check.
Discipline
What's your discipline?
5,
Okay, so you were able to put
6 with
you-
this.
yeah. Well, you got a -1 there too. So.
Yeah, those count that.
Got
So
5.
you're actually able to put 5 strength into it. So make
All right.
another roll.
Am I using something up for this?
No, well, you take 1 mental stress, okay?
So am I taking another mental stress?
Yes, for the second round.
So I'm at a moderate of -4?
No. Where's your mental stress?
Oh.
Okay, and those have gone away because those have gone away because it's been a new scene. Every new scene, your stress goes away.
Yeah.
So you take 1 and you put 5 power into it. Now you just need 4 more. Okay.
All right. Well, let me try again. I'll try for. So I was trying to put 5 in the first time.
And you did.
All right. I guess I'll try 5 again.
Okay.
Hey!
6.
At least
you
no
got it.
negatives. Yay!
All right. So the little piece of the table, you've hooked it up to this little silver ear piece. You think it used to be one of those things that people used to put in their ear when they're actually hard of hearing.
Kind of like hello.
Yeah. You wrap it up with a piece of hair that you think came from maybe like an animal or something that has really good hearing, probably a dog or something like that. And then you, again, cut your finger a little bit to seal it with blood. And all of a sudden, you can tell that there sounds like noises coming out of the little silver funnel thing. You put it up to your ear.
Yes, but before that, did I take a second mental stress?
No. Yes, 2. I'm sorry.
Okay.
2. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to put it up to my ear.
Okay. Yeah, you can hear people. Well, actually, you can hear Cappy talking about opening up the bar and how he's talking to maybe one of the delivery guys about he needs another 3 or 4 bottles of Jack Daniels. He needs some more cases of beer. Yeah, you can hear everything that's going on. And actually, it seems like it's working pretty well. Like you're getting pretty much the entire bar pretty clearly. So yeah, it's definitely working. And again, it's just this little kind of silver funnel thing that you put up to your ear, and you can hear stuff coming out.
So do I have to leave it here? Can I take this
No, you
other
can take
thing
it
with
with
me?
you. Absolutely.
Okay.
It'll last for 24 hours, basically till sunrise the next night or the next day. Then sunrise always makes things break. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I guess I'll take my little ear funnel thing. Would my guy from the Devanese know anything about Malks or Fae or anything like that? Is that where they delve
You
into
have
things?
no idea.
I'll see if I can contact him.
Okay, make me a contacts check.
Ooh! I got a +1.
What's your contacts?
3, so that's a 4.
You're trying to get in touch with the gentleman who taught you magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be, what's his name? He's on your character sheet, Jody. What's his name?
Oh, sorry. His name was...
Sydney St. Clair.
Yes, I hadn't found it yet, but I'm
I
sure
got
it's
you.
there.
Yeah, well, I wrote down everybody's aspects, so I kind of have some of them. So Sydney, you try and get a call into him. You pick up your landline and make a phone call. It goes through to him, and you get no answer. Actually, he seems to be either busy or something. And of course, there's no caller ID. Well, there might be caller ID on his end, but most people who are magical practitioners are not going to have caller ID.
Well, then I'm just gonna write like a little note that says, need to get in touch with you. I'll be at...
Are you going to go to the Buckner Mansion then and drop off the letter? That's where the Devanese pretty much hang out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
You go to
I'll be down in the quarter somewhere around Jackson Square for
Making
a
smoke
few
signals,
hours
right?
this afternoon.
All right. So you head to the Buckner Mansion, probably catching your car, bicycle. What did you
Bike.
say? Bike. Ride your bike down to the Buckner Mansion. It's a pretty long ride because you live almost at the other end of and that's in the Garden District. You're kind of on the other side of the
But I
French
bike
Quarter.
all the time. So.
Yeah, so you head down there. You're able to drop off your letter with a gentleman who meets you at the door, probably a butler or something like that. The house is very quiet. Doesn't seem like anything big is going on at this point. The Devanese, for those of you who don't know, are a secret society of magicians. They kind of don't really align themselves with the White Council. That was the one where Jody was threatening to keep a ledger of all their names, and I told her, no, you don't do that. That's not good. They would find that out and be pretty unhappy with you. But you can drop a letter off for Sydney, letting him know that you need to contact him. And it is 9:06. I think that may be where we want to wrap. Hi. Today on the Dresden Download, we're going to talk about technology and wizards. You'll hear several times in the game that we talk about that Dela's character doesn't have a cell phone. Well, the reason is because wizards and cell phones don't get along. Wizards and computers don't get along, unless, of course, there may be a minor talent or a focused practitioner. But wizards, because of the power that they wield, can't have very high technology. In the books, the Harry Dresden files, Harry Dresden only has a 1960s Volkswagen Bug that he can drive, and even that has trouble. If he gets too near computers, they fry and won't work anymore. So in our game, what you can do as a wizard, you can use your abilities to actually hex high technology, or the GM can use it as a compel to make your life more interesting when technology fails around you. Anyway, that's how technology and wizards don't work together.